I have figured out what one of my favorite things on the earth is. I figured out a few of my favorite things this week, but I figured out one thing in particular just this morning.
What's that?
It really sunk in for me. It clicked for me. All the gears of the clock, like the watchmen behind the scenes, were just grinding into place for me. And I owe a bit of it to you.
Uh-oh.
So I want to give you a thank you. Nothing pleases me quite so much as prepaying for my shipping stuff and then walking past 8 or 9 people super disgruntled in line as I drop it off at the window and then make a 180 and roll right the fuck out.
Yes, sir.
And then I got the nerve to make the motherfuckers hold the door for me sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Hey, excuse me, man. As I'm carrying my bags, you got me on this. And you could tell they want to tell me that they're in line to establish the idea that there's a line. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't just fucking see the line. I 100% see the line. I'm going around you.
Yeah.
Look smarter.
I think they should have a dedicated window for drop off.
I do too.
But
then I would lose my new favorite thing in life, which is walking past these people.
Yeah.
They're down on them. They're so angry. And I just act like I don't notice their anger. Oh, good morning. Take care.
That's great.
You guys have a good day. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They should have been smarter. They should have planned ahead.
Yeah.
Well, the next level of inception is they just come pick it up at your house.
Yeah.
Like we ship mostly UPS now, and they come pick it up.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet too.
But you don't get the satisfaction.
And I do quite enjoy it.
You wait for the busiest time of the day?
So I feel like ours is always busy. Like I feel like, our post office locally, it's small and it probably did well when the town had like 5 people that lived in it.
Right.
But now all of the old farm people have died and sold their farms to developers who have made a fucking huge bunch of developments and townhouses and all this other shit. So now there's like 18,000 fucking people living like right around the corner, and now they don't know what to fucking do with themselves. Right. They got 2 windows in that bitch.
Yep.
The
lobby is like
it's about the size of this room. Yeah. It's a mess.
The one we have.
That's why I really got to squeeze past them when I'm dropping my shit off.
Excuse me.
They have a huge lobby in the one we have in my town, but it's 2 windows and a door that becomes a third one.
Yeah.
I actually go to the UPS store a lot and drop stuff off right there by the liquor store.
I also I have edited up to the episode that I've listened to, which is 342 for the best of.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm pretty close. I think we're sitting at about
I have no idea where we are right now.
3. This is episode 345.
Nice.
All right.
We used to announce the episode numbers.
I did. I should be better about that because they're
No,
not
it's a mystery.
Nobody cares.
It's a mystery. They're not numbered on YouTube or anything.
Oh, we get a 365. We 1 episode a year. If you want to listen to 1 a year every
That's
day.
true. That's true.
You poor bastards.
Yeah. Then it would be the 365 Nerd Race Challenge. When the gift is. For prize, rather, is a shout out right here on.
Wow.
Anyway, Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
I watched a bunch of bullshit as always.
Dude, I was laughing listening back to it. This one episode where you were naming these wild ass shows, and like each one just got like wilder and wilder. And I'm completely losing my shit, but nobody else is laughing because it's you.
It's normal. Fucking Nicolas Cage and fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, man. That's
together?
their theme, I guess. No, have they been together?
I can't think of anything where they would have crossed paths. I don't think Leo is going to dip his toe in the Nicolas Cage.
Wow. I mean, like, he's not, he's a serious, cool actor, but like, he got Oscars or whatever, but like, he does silly shit too.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Why don't you make it happen, Joe?
I mean,
Start a production company.
fucking goddamn Mandalorian's doing shit with Nicolas Cage coming up here.
Yeah, nobody knows what he looks like, so.
Yeah.
What? I thought
I'm kidding.
Well, he's not allowed to take his helmet off.
Yeah.
Remember the rules?
This is the rules. This is the way.
Dim the rules.
unless there's a baby involved.
You should go back through the Mandalorian anytime they say this is the way. You say them's the rules. every time.
Dude, we got a episode of Four Dummies coming where this guy has like a Boba Fett shrine. Like it's like
A proper shrine
it's
with
like,
like a...
well, no, but it's like 2 shelves full of Boba Fett's, different Boba Fett's, different scales, and there's this one empty space in the middle that you could tell something was there, and he removed it for the picture. So we started joking about what it could have been, and we found like the worst looking Baby Yoda toys that we assumed was probably.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
continuing education of pop culture to Chris. 10 year plus, 12 year plus journey. So You would think she's seen all the Nicolas Cage movies with how much we talk about Nicolas Cage. She has not seen any of the 90s.
It's the gift that keeps on giving in many ways, Joe.
He is, dude.
It's like the jelly of the month.
He has a lot of movies that I never heard of. If you look up Nick Cage, not all streaming services can look up by actors, by the way, I found out. But yeah, he has like 3 movies a year every year.
Yeah.
That's a little exaggeration, but not really.
Yeah.
So like I might watch some.
You should just be. That should be your bag. You should be like the Nicolas Cage expert. Start a YouTube channel. You could just.
I'm sure there's already plenty of those out there.
Dude, Locked Behind the Cage.
Oh man.
Please.
Oh man.
I got time for that.
Listen, I really
big time.
I need a 45-minute deep dive of the lore of Wicker Man,
Bro.
Not the beast.
That's one of them for sure.
It's one of his more popular ones.
You've got to get into the Ghost Rider. It's not a trilogy.
Oh my god, dude!
Not trilogy. Just
is it a bilogy?
Him in leather pants is almost enough to seal the deal for me.
Man. So which ones did you find this week?
First one, well, I should have saved it, but because it's the best one.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It holds up fucking
Does
great.
it really?
It's
I haven't seen it
really
in forever, but it's quite good.
96,
It's
right?
really fucking good.
I haven't seen it in years.
I'll tell you a funny story about that movie that always is like a memory tied to me, right? I saw that movie in Westview Theater, not the one around the corner.
Not this one.
The one across from Emerson Village. And I'm sitting there in the theater watching it. I got Brutus with me, God bless the dead, and I have Adam with me. We finished watching, and it was one of those deals where you buy a large popcorn, you can get a free refill. That nobody ever does because there's more than enough popcorn in that bucket that's the size of a fucking 5-gallon paint bucket.
Right. Yeah. For most people.
So not for Brutus.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So Brutus walked up to get his refill on the way out. He gets in the back of Adam's, I believe, Escort at the time, and we're going down 40 through Baltimore County at probably about 80 miles per hour, windows down, and it creates this cyclone in the back seat. And the popcorn is spiraling around like in a tornado in the back seat, and Brutus is taking bites out of it like Homer when he was in outer space, and he's going, and he just goes, "Hey, slow down."
That's awesome. And I bet in a million years you could never recreate that. That was like
it's just the
once
right
in a
amount of
lifetime.
people in there, the right
And the
shit.
pressure, and yeah.
And he couldn't let go of the bucket because then he's going to lose. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like he's just forced to try to trap it with his mouth, so to speak.
Fucking wind physics is fucky in the car, man. You have to open your windows a certain way if you want the wind to not fucking. Especially when I smoked.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like ash should just go right into your fucking eyeball in the middle of driving. You don't want that.
Yeah, you had to be careful of that. And you
You
ever
have
had
to
this?
create a vacuum.
So you want? Let's do some smoking pods. You ever had? Let me ask you this: as a cigarette smoker in the car, right?
He doesn't know anything about that.
No, but have you ever?
I smoked for years.
Oh, did
I
you?
just don't. I haven't smoked recently.
You ever flick that motherfucker out and it come back in the back window?
Bro. I'm having like flashback nightmare right now,
Yep.
dude. Dude, I'm
And now
like,
you're driving, you gotta reach around and try to figure out what that motherfucker is.
like all my fucking like I got goosebumps just thinking about that anxiety at like 16 years old, dude. Because I'm already driving at
awful.
90 at that point.
I'll give you another one. You can barely make it out anymore. But I got this scar on my hand.
You want to know how I got this scar?
Yeah, I'll tell you. My buddy Gary sitting in the back seat, not angry Gary, Gary the liar, and
So you need to write a list of all your friends and names. It's fucking crazy.
it bugs me as like I'm having like adult conversations. I'm like, yeah, it was fucking me, Gary the liar, Timmy Shoulders. I mean, Mikey Shoulders, Timmy Salads, like this, like
Trees, styles, danger.
trees, styles, and danger. Dot and Brutus. So anyway, I'm dropping off a buddy of mine at Copperstone fucking apartments, which is fucking. They used to call it the pit because you had to like go downhill into it. And let me tell you this: we're the same place life went when you went into it. But I'm dropping him off. I got my left hand on the steering wheel, and I reach around. He's in the back seat behind me to give him a dap goodbye with my hand out, and my hand goes all the way into his cigarette, like his left cigarette.
I got put out on your hand.
Awful.
I fucking spat on a girl's face because I didn't get the windows right.
Oh, by accident spitting out the window.
I spit on a friend's face. Same thing.
Yeah.
I forgot all.
I spat out the window and
y'all
just
are
fucking
pulling
fly,
shit out of the
like,
back of my head today.
This sucks though because it's like a cute chick. But like, it was fine afterwards. But like, at that age and at that time, and not knowing how people react,
right?
She was cool with it.
Yeah.
Damn, man, you were like the Chris Rock of your time, or the Will Smith of your time. Except you spit instead of slapped. You know what I mean?
But The Rock holds up.
I love to hear it.
Ed Harris, great
fucking actor.
Nick Cage people shit. And like, I was talking to Chris. I'm like I know he's meme and shit, but when he wants to act, he can act.
You say Ed Harris?
Yeah.
You know, that's one of my, like, I wouldn't say that my wife is a big celebrity crush person, but he would be in the conversation.
Is it in the handsome old man?
Yeah, my wife loves an old man.
Like
if
the
she were
Westworld version of him?
Just him in general.
Okay.
If she were to ever leave me, that motherfucker would be in his late 60s.
I mean, I don't know what he looks like now, but like...
All right, relax.
I mean, you're kind of pulling it off.
But you know what's funny is
I think if you drop like 50 pounds and look gaunt, you look like him.
This morning at the bus stop, one of my neighbors comes out there with his kid, right? And he's like 50-something years old. And the baby comes up to me and is like, "Did you know he's older than you?" And I was like, "I did." And she was like, "Crazy." And I was like, "Because he looks younger than me, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, and he's a little bit littler."
Because like you get bigger, she get older and get bigger. Then you must be mad old. But yeah, what is it? I hardly noticed there was no cell phones. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how I can tell sometimes when you don't notice the technology gap.
Right.
But yeah, great action. Sean Connery was great.
He's, I mean, you know, God bless the dead.
It would be fun to go back through movies from the like late 90s and just say, okay, now they have cell phones. How is this a different movie? Because there's so many situations that
it kills it almost immediately for like most of them.
Yep. And Con Air.
Man, I hadn't.
That's the sound of his mullet blowing in the wind.
Bro, it's funny. Like there's like scenes of like when the sun is coming down on his face.
That's like a super fast.
That's the one.
And in his fucking wife eater, he had gains, bro. He had gains in that movie. I forgot. He looked pretty fucking good.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines, my Chris Gaines shirt. What am I gonna get? A Nick Cage shirt, dude. Someone send us a sequence.
Fine. Like it would have to be like crazy eyes one.
We'll go next to Nick Cage. We have a Nick Cage sequence pillow.
Is that a medium? What size is it?
Smaller the better.
I don't hear that very often.
Vaginas, bro.
Fair.
That's fair.
But no, we have like a sequence Nick Cage pillow that is haunting. I love it.
Yes, one does.
But kind of was John Malkovich, great.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah. I liked it. I like kind of. I'm not saying that's amazing acting by Nick Cage, but it is a character. Mm-hmm. It's
that's for sure. Being John Malkovich, side note, is one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's such a crazy accent.
Yeah, I love that shit. The 13th floor or the 13th and a half floor or whatever it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so. It's just.
Now I gotta think of other Nick Cage movies we gotta watch. Face Off is. It's probably gonna be Nick's.
Okay.
It's Nick Eyes, but there's like others I have to like look into.
Dude, IMDb.
Dude, that list is too big.
Oh, I know. It's a baffling document.
You think you're prolific?
I know. It's a baffling document.
Fucking, and then. Oh, we got on that because we watched fucking last week and watched National Treasure 1 and 2.
Oh,
and National Treasure 2, Ed Harris was the bad guy. And I was like, bro.
Dude, the Cage-verse.
Bro. Dude.
It's all connected. This is how it'll pull into the Marvel universe through Ghost Rider.
I'm sad. I hope Nick Cage gets in the Marvel universe, man.
I hope he does too.
I hope he does not.
You rather him in your DC universe, bro?
No.
Well, then
you can have him.
Okay, there you go. This is draft.
That motherfucker wants to be Stuart
we'll take him. We'll take him in the fast lore. He'll fit right in.
Yeah, that much is for sure.
What character would Nick Cage be in a Marvel movie? In all seriousness.
Well, okay, let's fan
Norman Osborn.
Let's fan book this.
He would be a great Norman Osborn, but we already have a Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
But he would be a great Norman.
Right,
You're right.
Something of a scientist himself. Let's replace.
Fucking one of the West Coast Avengers.
I mean, there's always
Wonder Man.
There's always him.
Wonder Man.
Yes, that's
Wonder Man.
Yes,
with a big
Wonder Man.
W
in the
red
white
eyes.
pants and the red. Yes,
I forgot about him. He was in
Yes.
Avengers, wasn't he?
He was West Coast.
West Coast.
He's a West Coast Avenger.
I don't remember his power. He was jacked and like he shot beams, I think. That's kind of generic.
Most of these motherfuckers get around the planet like 6 times in a day, and they got to have a whole team on California.
I think if he was in the DC universe, he should be Plastic Man. Think about it, that goofy ass face.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Chinning up.
With the fishnet strap across his
Or
chest.
maybe for Pillow Gray in his temples,
Can you
he
do
could
it,
pull
Reed
off
Richards?
Reed Richards. Yeah.
That's another classic Robert D joke, as he talks about my Plastic Man collection, because I have like 2 things, and he's like, "Yeah, that's more than anybody else has."
This is true.
I mean, you would cover his beautiful face, but I can see him as Doom.
Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, but why would you ever want to cover his face?
Exactly, that's
You
a
know?
problem. But
Yeah.
I feel like he could pull off.
You're probably
Dr.
right.
Doom.
You're probably right.
He could.
But it would be goofy, I think.
I don't know.
You think?
'Cause
I mean, how is Doom not going to be goofy? I mean,
No, he
they
needs to
don't-
be scary.
Yeah.
I know he
he's scary.
does, and I think that is it's like a Darth Vader kind.
I
of
mean,
thing. Like you don't ever
like,
see him
I
without
mean,
the mask.
Like for the only example you have is fucking Kick-Ass, where Nicolas Cage can wear a mask and act serious.
Yeah, that's
He
fair.
was serious
That's
in
fair.
that movie.
And
That's
the test footage from Batman. Just saying, or Superman. rather.
That's a great movie too. That kick ass. Like,
It is, and he is. People forget he's in it, and he was good.
by all.
I never watched the second one.
It's good.
It's
Is
good
it?
too.
Yeah.
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 I need to watch it. Though.
Solid.
It's on the list.
Solid.
Yeah, you have a tie-in. It's Nicolas Cage. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's not in it. He died in the first one. Spoiler.
right, but it's canon. They can't. You can watch it because there's only 2, and there's an end point. You can
Yes,
see.
yes.
So you're not
But
scared
like,
of
I
falling
thought it
off a
wasn't
cliff.
received well.
Oh, I don't know. I never.
But
looked.
like, if you guys say it's good, I'll watch
I
it.
enjoyed it.
Like, like doesn't take
just like I enjoyed 30 Days Night sequel that nobody's seen.
I think I saw that.
Didn't know they'd made one.
Yeah.
No,
That's part of the problem.
no good.
30 more days.
It was after I was out of the film industry.
Watched Inception first.
Yes.
Great.
Inception.
Yeah, Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And then we watched Shutter Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also great. But like, it's a very similar character.
Yeah. I think
It's a dude who lost somebody and then went fucking nuts. Right?
That was when when Scorsese was like super Oscar hungry.
Yeah.
And I think I expected it. I want to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Because I think at that time, like everything he was doing was like perfect. And in my head, I was like, oh, this is going to be the thing. And then I think I was a little disappointed by the twist of it. I think I called the twist that he was an inmate the whole time. Or yeah. But I want to watch it again.
But it was done well. It wasn't just like, aha, that's a twist. Because
Right.
sometimes it's like that and then the movie ends.
Yeah. I want to watch it again without expectations.
Yeah.
I think that's a movie where expectations got the best of me.
We're talking about Shutter Island.
Shutter Island, yeah.
Because there's a twist to the. I don't even remember. There's a twist to the twist.
I
There's
don't.
another
It's been
twist
a
at
long
the very
time.
end, or a point of argument at the very last line of the movie. Like, what did it mean?
Because that dude was like, at that time, I mean, it was Aviator he did, Departed, there was in that pocket of time.
And then right before that is 2 of my. I'll be honest. I enjoy Leonardo DiCaprio's work. I'm a fan of his.
Me too. It's
Like,
okay. Safe space.
2 things that he's done.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Good soundtrack.
That was a very strange movie.
Kissing you was. I love that. That's some fucking vibes.
Catch Me If You Can. I love that movie.
Yes.
It's fucking
I
great.
need to watch
That's one of those
That's a
ones
good one. I need to put that. I don't think she's seen it.
And The Beach. Have you ever seen The Beach?
I have not, but that was the one that looked like it was like a teeny bopper kind of thing.
It leans a little that way. So basically,
Yeah.
he goes to Thailand, just to party or whatever, and he stumbles upon this group of people that's living on this island, and it's like a secret to get there. And then, unfortunately, the other side of the island, there's growing things that they've stumbled upon.
Oh, really?
A lot of conflict. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that. I haven't seen it in years, but I've fond memories of watching that.
Something just sprung to the old noggin, Joseph.
Uh-oh.
Does that mean, are you going to do all of DiCaprio's movies as well? Or
I mean, like ongoing. We have an ongoing calendar. We watch a lot of movies now because it's like a lot less commitment.
so dude, I agree. Are you going to give Gangs of New York a shot?
Bottom tier.
Really?
What might.
Man, that one's great.
I'm just curious to hear I would like to hear your review. Like if and when.
As good as Casino?
Well,
No, it's got Daniel.
I know where you hold Casino Joe, so I don't want to put it on par. But I would say
I'll say
it's one of his best.
Anytime Daniel Day-Lewis is added to the cast, it immediately goes up.
It never hurts.
5 notches.
It
the
never
guy doesn't
hurts.
miss.
Yeah.
He was so good he quit. he retired. He's like, I don't have to.
There's
do
just
this
certain
anymore.
people that like 99% of the time, if you see him in,
Yeah.
I mean, like Ben Kingsley was in
Gary Oldman.
Yeah. But like sometimes they're not. Like Ben Kingsley has some misses.
Yeah. And so does Gary Oldman.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor?
Yeah.
Anyone? Trevor?
I mean,
No, that's a hit.
Trained
It was
actor.
great. I love
Trained
Trevor.
actor.
Don't talk shit
I
about
know.
Trevor.
That was probably one of my favorite twists in the Marvel Universe ever.
I hate it.
Yeah. No. Oh,
I don't mind him in Shang-Chi. Like him in Shang-Chi.
Same
Hate him
character.
I know, but the damage
Yes.
was done in Iron Man 3. I can't.
It's the same
I
actor
can't-
playing the actor playing the character.
I
and then
can't.
showing you the real Mandarin.
If
So it's like the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
I
It's
can't.
perfect.
I can't hold. I'm trying to think of another time where I hold this applicable, but I can't blame him and his performance in Shang-Chi on the poor choices, in my opinion, that were made in Iron Man 3. So it's like I give him I don't hold that against him here. Given what happened here that I hate, I like what they did with him here, if that makes sense.
Source material aside, his performance in Iron Man 3 was good.
Yeah, but even I think when he got a little doofy, maybe it was a little hammed it up a bit, but I love, like, I'll tell you, like watching Iron Man 3, I can still remember it as clear as I'm fucking seeing you now, that like I found him to be terrifying in the beginning of that shit. Like, I bought it 100%. I thought it was a smarter choice because I was a little worried when he was going to be the Mandarin, and he's like, that should be an Asian character. Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was like, that's
You
not
had
right.
me in mind.
That's not right. But that's how I roll with everything.
Yeah.
I can't. My rules are consistent across the board with that shit.
Yep.
But like with the way they did it, they instantly show you how they're playing it, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm on board. It's a complete reimagination, and he's fucking horrifying. Then it comes with it is, and then
Gotcha.
And then I much prefer the real Mandarin from Shang-Chi, to be fair.
There you go.
I forgot to mention, we don't know, me and especially Chris don't know the name of people of like key groups and shit.
Right. We gotta have Phil here for that.
But like when we were watching The Rock, she was like, "Is this Pirates of the Caribbean music?" I'm like, "No," but Jared Bruckheimer did this movie, and then she was like, "This reminds me of Transformers." Like, this is
Michael Bay.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, we're watching so many movies. You're picking on this shit.
Style.
Did you see the bird where the bird's flying away?
And it's birds, the flags, the military stuff, explosions.
They love that. He loves that.
He loves that shit.
The
It's
lens,
just flags with no
flare.
reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like. Now I can't unhear it. Like, it sounds like fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, it should be the other way around. Pirates of the Caribbean
Right.
sounds like The Rock.
Michael Bay, he really wakes up in the morning and pisses excellence, to be fair.
This is true.
I mean, it makes him fucking entertaining.
Jeepers
Shit.
fucking creepers.
Did he make Jeepers Creepers? That's
Probably.
That's you don't like Jeepers Creepers?
Actually, I'll be fair, I haven't seen it since it came out. I wasn't in love with it when it came out.
It was a cool new monster.
Yeah.
It's Quantum of Solace was movie night because we're back on the James Bond train.
That's a 40K movie, or
Sounds like it. It's the worst of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. But I still enjoyed it. He made 5 of them, and this is like number 5.
I like him in general.
Yes, I mean, I'm waiting for Knives Out too. I can't wait. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be on Netflix. He did great as a stormtrooper. Like,
Dude, I had a dream I killed a stormtrooper.
of course.
I mean, because I don't usually dream about being in these fictional universes.
Were you in Star Wars, or did you kill a cosplayer? Because that's more likely.
No. Yeah, that is more likely. But I was in Star Wars. Like, I was like in this, like, it looked like Mars from Total Recall.
Yes,
like the planet grain.
Yes.
And I don't know why, but I was fighting the stormtrooper, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, "Damn, this armor is harder than I thought it was going to be." Like on my hands, you know what I mean? Like,
because you're no force, no powers.
Yeah, I'm just a regular guy.
Beating
I'm just a regular guy,
ass.
and I was fighting this dude, and it was like he had a hard time breathing on this planet, so he had like tubes hooked up to his helmet, and
Were there 2 tubes?
I wish. Even in my dreams, I can't get 2 tubes. There was just 1 tube. So here's the fucked up thing. Like, I'm not like a dude. I put stink bugs outside. Like, I hate to see a thing suffer. Like, I'm not, that shit's not in me.
Yeah.
I threw him on the ground and ripped the fucking hose out of his helmet, and I told him to die slow.
You guys have an unresolved issue.
I was fucking mad.
As a psychiatrist, I would tell you next time, remove the helmet and see who's back there.
That's right.
It's me as a little boy.
Or it's Mark Hamill.
or what if it was your skull face mask, but you were not wearing it?
Or I'm wearing the skull face, man.
Yes,
Or
bro.
It's probably actually
Someone wrote a fanfic. It's gonna be good shit.
it's probably Jon Favreau under there.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Or Filoni. Or Abrams.
It's a combination
It's
of
all
the two.
three of them.
Yeah.
It's a three-headed monster of those three.
Watch the Sherlock Holmes Robert Downey Jr. movie. Mm-hmm. Great. We're gonna watch the second one tonight.
Oh yeah, that is good. Guy Ritchie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to follow up with, since you're on a Downey kick, you want to watch that Dr. Doolittle that nobody's ever said a
I
word
don't
about?
know. I like the first one. I had the soundtrack on CD.
Well, wow.
That was the era.
It was.
That was the era.
I had my tens,
Beating the block.
my tens tube in the back,
Pounding the pavement.
rattling the fucking license
Oh,
plate.
man. If your mirrors ain't shaking, then you've been taken.
They're coming for you.
Good times, bro. But a good movie. Good movie. I recommend.
Yeah, it's solid.
Another one. That one's solid. I'm watching the second one. It's gonna be good. The Courier. It's a movie I would never normally watch.
Courier.
Because I'm not into like real serious or like based on true story or like historic. This Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch bunch. I like him a lot. So
He's
that's
named
one
after that thing that you wear to prom or across your stomach.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that across the stomach or is that the thing on the hand?
No,
No,
that's
that's the croissant.
Cumberbund.
Yes.
I always
That.
opted for the vest. I
Benedict
always opted for the
Cumberbund.
vest because I thought a cummerbund looked ridiculous.
But The Courier. Like if y'all like serious movies, I'd highly recommend it. It's based on true story of back in the USSR. He is a businessman, normal ass British businessman who got recruited to smuggle shit in and out of Russia, out of USSR.
That sounds good.
Military, exactly, it's down your boat. Military secrets, which end up having a part to play in the Cuban Missile Crisis.
All right, so here's the game we have to play, Bobby. What streaming service is this on based on his description?
So
I don't know.
It
You
doesn't.
don't know? You don't know?
I'm going to say Amazon.
I was just going to say Netflix.
So
No, it's not Netflix. It's not
It's
Netflix.
not Netflix.
I don't think.
So here's the thing: is because it's him, my default would have been Netflix, but because of the caliber of the film, the way it sounds,
Hello? I love these good things I watch on Netflix.
It is Prime.
Wow.
Way to go.
How do you know? Because I just go through all my services while looking for movies. I just scroll through them all.
like I was even looking
Prime
at.
is usually for horror movies for me because of Shudder.
I was even looking at the three, like there's 3 Oscar nominee movies that we wanted to see. I forget the names of them now, but we were looking at them last night, and the one that looked the worst to me, guess who made it? Netflix.
Yeah.
We watched the trailers for all 3.
The trailer.
Yeah, and yeah,
Well,
that
the
didn't help.
trailer
That
doesn't help.
that
Netflix
didn't bloody help. That is, Chris.
But I would like to see what y'all thought about it. It was powerful.
Yeah. I just sent Laura a text. We're watching Courier.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wow, for once a movie.
I
That-
watched Angry Neighbors or Bad Roommates. That was a recommendation of yours. I watched a few of your recommendations.
Okay. But yeah, a really skinny Benedict Cumberbatch looks just like Ethan Hawke. When you watch that movie, let me know.
So I just looked at the picture, and he does look very gaunt. And yes, I'm on point with that.
I
Yeah,
just saw
that's funny.
Ethan Hawke in something.
He's in Moon Knight.
That's what it was.
He's the
Don't spoil it.
perceived bad guy.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Don't spoil it for me.
whatever.
And then I'm almost done with Aftermath, the Scientology thing.
Oh, are you? You plowed through that shit. So
Yeah,
to speak.
I mean it's interesting, but
It
like
is.
this last episode, they go like because people keep writing in and telling stories, and which is horrendous. I can't I guess it is believable that shit goes on this day and age, with like imprisonment and slavery, basically.
yeah.
And
It's fucking.
assaults.
It's amazing to me that shit exists specifically in this day and time.
Yes.
When this generation, I would say the current young generation, is so caught up on. I'll say perceived injustices.
Yeah.
And it's like this one is perhaps the most blatant injustice that the way they fucking treat people, and nobody's got a fucking thing to say about it.
I don't think no one got things to say about it. It seems like you can't do anything about it. Because like you talk like the people who are getting hurt are the people in the cults who are not gonna fucking
power, like,
and then they have like
one person can make a change.
IRS can't do shit to them.
Yeah.
They fucking blackmailed the IRS to give them tax exempt status.
Yeah,
That's
well,
basically what happened.
The IRS can't do shit to a lot of people that make a lot of money.
Yeah, but like it seems like the law, the town that they're in, they basically bought out. Like the law enforcement works for them in Clearwater.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
like it's like deep corruption. But the only solace is that's
a twofer. They get to go against the cops, and like they should be lining up these kids.
But there's only like I can't imagine there are more than like fucking 10,000-20,000 people still actually Scientology. It will by itself die out. It can't sustain itself,
except that they're breeding inside of it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like.
Kind of.
But like people are finding their mates there and, you know, forwarding generations. I mean, it will get less because for every two you get one.
All kids like leave.
Right.
Because they grow up.
But sometimes it seems like it's not that easy. You know, I mean, the one I saw, people fucking hiding in trunks of cars in order to get out of the fucking facilities and shit.
Yep.
I watched some little short video about Scientology, and wherever they had these people, they weren't allowed any outside contact. Didn't have the internet. Well, somebody got this grandpa type guy a Kindle for Christmas. And
I saw that.
Actually ended up having internet.
Yeah.
And he got to,
and he's like, what the fuck?
Well, he just Googled Scientology or just something, you know, he wasn't being nefarious. And he's like, look at all these things they're saying about, is this true?
Yeah.
They just,
I saw
blinders.
that one. I saw that.
Blinders, you know?
Yep.
Cheeky blinders.
But this last episode, they talk. They're doing a coverage on Jehovah's Witnesses. It's awful. It's fucking awful.
So I know some people. I know a lot of people, to be fair, that are Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of people.
And there's
the fuck. Where have I been?
There's some interesting
Not in America. That's right.
There's some interesting stuff about it. So I would say that like there on one hand, there are these things that I fundamentally disagree with, right? Like the way that they excommunicate you from it if you don't live by their rules, to include you from your family, stuff like that. Like
also the patriarchy,
like that shit's a huge like culty behavior, right? I had a buddy of mine, he's in it, you know, and he met his wife through it because that's kind of part of the program too.
Religion,
not that it's forced, but it's like, you know. But like he was choosing to be a little hootie patootie out in the streets before he got married, and basically they shunned him from the church. He couldn't have contact with his mother and father. He couldn't, you know what I mean? And like that to me is fucking bullshit. Yeah. But let me tell you what I respect about the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah,
I respect the way that they approach the Bible. Let me explain. Have you ever argued with one or debated with one before?
No.
It's fantastic because you can't win. Because
win with faith in general.
No, but this one's different. Because like if you debate with your average evangelical, and I'm not an anti-God dude, right? Like
the kids are though.
My oldest is specifically. It's crazy, but like I'm not.
Tyler Scientology,
and I was like, one time I was like, have you ever fucking felt the presence of anything or like something greater than yourself? She was like, oh, was it in the toast? Is that where you saw the presence of something? Like, you know, like that's how she rolls. But
nice.
But anyway,
she's gonna be great at parties, Bob.
yeah. She had a slinky till she straightened it. But like,
oh my goodness.
That's a Ghostbuster joke, but getting back to it, like they're kind of, if you argue it or debate with like an evangelical, right, about like dinosaurs, for instance, right, and they'll be like, well, if you look through the book of, you know, Leviticus or whatever, you'll see that they talk about the Leviathan and the Behemoth and whatever, and that could be, if we don't see time the same way as as an atheist, that could be they just described as huge beasts of the sea, huge beasts of the land. That could be a description of dinosaurs. They just didn't have that word to go by. Like this, like they manipulate and and adapt, which I understand. Yeah. Which I understand.
Also, dinosaurs.
Jehovah's Witnesses, don't play that shit. You'd be like they'd be like, no, it's Leviathan and a behemoth. There were two different beasts. Not here anymore. Because they're called that, and that's what. Like I respect that. Like they just followed the book.
And what did the elder say?
And but like even the elders, like I've never debated with a Christian faith, for lack of a better term. There's some Christians that would take offense to that, to Jehovah's Witness being considered, but just people that believe in Jesus Christ being the coming of God or whatever. I've never debated with anyone from that faith that hasn't, like, that has known the Bible like a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, because they don't read them.
They know that
Jehovah's
shit.
Witnesses reading that shit every day.
They know that shit like the back of their hand, and they'll call out scripture after scripture, and like they'll be like, the common things like, well, what about Christmas? Like, well, it's not in the Bible. But it's great and it's fun and it's good times and you can decorate a tree and it's they're like, yeah, no, that sounds great, but it's not in the Bible, so we don't do it. I just respect their very black and white, like at least the rules are fucking clearly defined and they don't seem super malleable to like whoever's in charge.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right or wrong, it is the way it is.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I can respect that.
Yeah,
I can respect that.
And that's about it.
Christoph.
Hey, that's me.
And your phone just went on.
It did.
It knew.
He's a busy man.
I'll save our common conversation for the end.
Okay.
I went and saw Morbius.
And
Me and
it's a hot topic.
It was Maryland Phil and
He
I
probably got
went
his
to,
clothes on Hot Topic.
At least his hat.
I want to lead with this.
All right.
It was a Thursday night premiere night at 6:40. I think we went. The theater. We went to Warehouse. It was a smaller theater, and I'd say it was 70% full.
Okay, that's a
It
good
was
sign.
surprisingly full. People clapped when the movie ended, like not because it was over, because they enjoyed it.
Good. Nothing better than spending your money and being happy.
That's it. And if that happens, then you won.
Correct.
But what the fuck was that movie?
So I haven't.
So you didn't have the same reaction as everybody else.
No, I mean, I was.
Letter grade.
I'm going to give it a number grade. I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay.
It was
So
entertaining.
that's a D plus. D. Yeah.
Solid D, so to speak.
Well, it's but we're not having this argument again. It's 65%. Which is a D, but whatever. Once again, it's kind of like the Venom movie. If it's not if it wasn't trying to be a Marvel property, it's probably a pretty decent movie. But knowing that it's a Marvel property, you're like, what are you doing? Like the whole the antagonist is just, I don't know, man. It's like this is
the antagonist a known character?
This is from Phil because he knows everything. He was a character in like a bit part kind of villain.
What's his name?
It's just a dude. I don't know.
The dude.
Will. I don't know.
The dude. It's from Big Lebowski.
So here's the. Do you just want me to tell you this setup?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoilers in 99, 98.
Just a premise. Just in a nutshell.
Morpheus and this kid are in. Is it Mobius? Morbius.
And Mobius is a vampire who plays techno music.
Yeah, and Moby.
Which somehow seems appropriate.
It does.
This day and age, yes.
So he was in an orphanage with this other kid, and I don't know if it was an orphanage. It was also like a hospital for kids that had the disorder they have. Well, he comes up with something to fix it, which has horrible side effects, and this other person who they've been working on this cure ends up taking it too, and that becomes the villain.
Okay.
And it's, I don't know. There's the Swiss cheese, man. It's got holes.
Well, it's not being well received, which doesn't necessarily mean anything to me. But as a side note, it's not being super well received.
I'll tell you first off that if you've seen the trailer, they might have hired Netflix to do it. I mean, the trailer was awful. It was cut to shreds, but you can tell by the way the dialogue's even paced.
Like his bloody lean fat ratio. Am I right?
Yeah. Apparently, according to Phil, there was a lot of things in here. Like I guess he had developed synthetic blood that's part of the comic, and that was a big aspect of this whole thing. I enjoyed the special effects. I know some people have been shitting on them, but he's just standing there talking to you, and his eyes get big, and the vampire face kind of it just comes at you real quick and goes back in. Yeah. Whoa.
Dude, I get it.
I know the vibes. So, but then there's some things like, I know Bobby, like in Batman, I don't need him. I don't need to see the pearls hit the ground because I know that's happening. Morbius can fly, and they don't ever really explain it. I guess it's something to do with his
Vampire powers,
his sonic, because he's also got bat powers, and there's a lot of bats in this.
that's
movie.
on brand.
A lot of bats. It's like there's more bats in this than there was in Batman.
I just want to reiterate, I don't need to see your clutch or pearls either. I just need to see something that makes me connect to the character.
I understand.
I just don't want that to be. I just don't want the false narratives because they come back to bite me in the end. I'll be in fucking Toronto at some convention in 2 years, and somebody be like, and another thing, those fucking pearls, you don't need them. I'll be like, look, it got out of hand. I just like.
Everybody just bring Bobby strings of pearls.
I mean,
every time you see them, not real ones, not
no,
real ones.
Only real ones.
The super cheap ones that you get at the dollar store. It seems like they tried to shoehorn something in at the end that really makes no sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Have you seen what this is? So Michael Keaton was in the trailer.
Oh,
but he's not in the movie except in after credit scenes.
Okay.
Oh, what the fuck?
So the first after credit scene is you see the sky kind of rip open, like what's been happening everywhere, and then all of a sudden, what's his name? Plays he's the Vulture.
Michael Keaton.
Yes,
you just said it.
But I know, but the name of the character. Anyways,
whatever.
He's in jail, but it's not the right. It's a different universe, and they don't explain any. It's like. And then they're like, let's get 6 of us together.
That's the problem with multiverses.
The 6 of us, huh?
Or something.
It's a
like
weird.
That.
It's a weird 6.
It was a weird. A
weird 6.
But they're really playing
like Avengers. Any 06 would do.
They're really playing
like the guys who went to go get Sidious.
Yes. They're really playing Morbius as a hero, though. I mean, it's anti-hero.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. It was a good time, and when I enjoyed it, and the people's reaction was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Wrestling. It's a huge wrestling weekend. I watch wrestling.
Wasn't fucking that YouTube guy?
Probably. Logan Paul.
I hate that guy.
Logan Paul wrestled.
I don't know who's worse, him or Leto.
So I don't know too much about this Logan Paul guy, but I can say that he's at least earned respect for being able to fucking throw a punch.
So
yes.
So I will tell you.
No. Like he's a talented dude in general, overall.
And the other thing that I think that you should respect about him,
yeah,
I don't know why, but I feel like you should, is he's got a fucking gold chain with a $5 million Pokemon card sealed.
So he wore to the ring.
Wasn't it fake? Was it?
I don't.
No, it's.
I thought he got. Didn't he get scammed one time?
I think it was a setup. Yeah, they bought a bunch of supposedly sealed Generation 1 Pokemon cards. They had G.I. Joe trading cards in the boxes. I'm pretty sure it was the whole thing was that. But he wore to the ring it's the Pokemon Illustrator card. It's PSA 10. I think it's like $5.5 million, but he's got it in the slab.
Pretty cool. It's not my bag, but it's pretty cool.
It's a flex.
Yeah, for sure.
And he has like the diamonds, rhinestones, whatever, all the way around it. And he wore it. Dude, he can fucking go. Yeah. Like I'd watch him any day. Pat McAfee is, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He does a podcast, used to be an NFL player. He's actually a commentator in WWE, but he had a match too. It was fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, at first they he was kind of a clown, but he's kind of like.
No, that's the thing. He
like, put in the time, man. You can be good at shit. That's what people don't realize.
From the artist, like he is a talented dude in physical aspect, and he knows what he's doing in the marketing aspect. Like,
that's
even
fair.
if you hate him,
that's fair.
You know who he is.
That's fair.
So, like, I give him all the credit for everything he's achieved.
Right.
I don't like.
You just don't like what he is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I'm also not a big flex guy. I'm like that whole fucking thing is just not a me.
But I just think it's I'm used to seeing a flex. It's like everybody flexes, right? But it's like
this motherfucker flexes at the bus stop.
but I think it's the unique flex there of like who flexes with a Pokemon card.
Right. It's wild.
And like that's not my bag at all, but I'm like, all right, I like it.
Yeah. So
I think he's obnoxious.
WWE did WrestleMania. It's a 2-day event. It was literally 8 hours of wrestling over 2 days. I'd probably give it a B-. There were some really good matches and some not great matches. And like Cody Rhodes showed up, which he's the AEW guy who's the first one to go back to WWE. So that was exciting to see. Ring of Honor Friday night was an incredible show. This is the first Ring of Honor since AEW bought Ring of Honor. I think we discussed that at one point in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You stay after class, I'll draw you a diagram. Yeah. It's complicated.
It's to have red ropes from one coast to one
there you go.
organization to another.
There you go. We'll do it on the wall with like cut out pictures. So have you guys ever done one of the meal subscription services where they send you the ingredients and you cook the food. And
No, but I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, I know what they are. I don't do them.
So
I have a cook
Freshly's, and there's a bunch of
different ones, and we've tried over the years several times a couple different ones.
Wow, your wife can cook great.
Well, she can, but sometimes the hardest part is figuring out what you're going to have and gathering all the ingredients and everything, right?
and having to cook every fucking night.
Right. But even
Oh
if,
yeah, you got a fucking rack of people. That's right.
Well,
Chris, I don't have to cook for the two of us. It's easy.
well, so that's changed a bit because our two youngest don't eat.
Anything.
They eat chicken nuggets.
stand up, stop eating.
Chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese and ramen and like, breakfast foods. So they normally don't eat whatever we eat anyways, right? And Mason's working like 4 nights a week.
Don't in the movie industry.
No, vape shop.
He's at the vape shop,
vape
bro.
shop. That's right.
Growing it up.
Just night shift.
He got Employee of the Month last month.
Oh,
You got his
dude.
picture? Is that picture on the wall?
I don't know if they do, but he got $20 of store credit. What's funny is he's not old enough to buy anything from the vape shop, but they have like Cokes and shit, so he just buys his snacks with that.
Night shift vape shop.
So Kelly ordered a meal kit from a company called Home Chef. I'd never heard of it, and it's been fucking great.
Well, good.
Like we have been so pleased that we ordered another week.
Sponsored?
Not yet.
Got to get on that sponsorship, bro.
I did want to show you some of the
Tell me,
stuff.
you're part of a podcast that talk about food sometimes.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Now, no, Bobby, I know some of these things I'm going to read off. You were like, never in a million years.
Okay.
Smoked almond and herb goat cheese stuffed chicken breast.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm not, probably not in on that. I'm not a big goat cheese person. My wife loves it.
I love goat cheese.
Steak strip marsala risotto.
Sounds great.
Possible. That's a possibility.
Mushroom Swiss burger.
Does it have burger? I mean, is mushroom
Bloody
on the burger, or is the mushroom burger made of mushroom? That's
Yeah,
two different
actually,
things.
I'm reading this.
Maybe.
This is this week's. Let me read what we ate this past week. I'm sorry. Sweet onion demi glazed chicken.
Yes, that's normal.
Haystack burger with comeback sauce. It was just a burger.
Dude, that
with,
comeback sauce is-
with onions on. What's funny is the restaurant chain Jack's, not Jack in the Box, Jack's. They have comeback sauce. Southwest style chicken fricassee. The word fricassee is wild as
What
fuck.
the fuck is that?
I
Is
thought
that like
I was going to have to
Jodeci?
put on my cowboy boots for that. This was great. Spinach, artichoke, and ground turkey stuffed peppers.
Oh, that sounds great.
That was great. Creamy sausage and pesto cavatappi.
Pesto.
A panko crusted chicken katsu.
That doesn't sound
And
bad.
then one sheet classic brown sugar glazed beef meatloaf. So
I can't do that.
You can't do
it was.
meatloaf.
It's my kryptonite. I can't even be in the
Well,
same room
the cool thing about this company is
Get weak in the knees and shit.
you can order kids meals, Bobby, so you'd have plenty to eat there. But they have other stuff too. That's not. They have pizzas and different things, and you can double your protein. And they have they have a calorie conscious stuff. Anyways,
Nice.
Loving it.
It's really good. We're loving it. And if anybody listening is interested,
You got
I have a promo code for you.
Yeah, that's an affiliate
Yeah.
code.
Yeah, so just hit me up if you're interested.
/ crash box.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy, but yeah. So that's been nice. And then Kelly even says, she's like, my problem is I go to the grocery store and I'm like, what do I want to buy? And the thing is, like, well, and the other thing about this stuff is if you need a specific sauce that you'll probably never use again, you're gonna buy this $12 bottle of sauce to use 2 dashes of it or whatever.
Right.
Well, this comes with everything.
So it's weekly, not monthly.
Oh yeah, it's because it's fresh ingredients, like fresh vegetables.
Well,
and
sometimes you
stuff.
have to subscribe for like a month at a time or whatever. And
Yeah, and
they send it to you.
You can pick your menu even. It isn't just like blindly, here's
like,
some food.
Krista's got a fucking work trip coming up, so maybe I would sign up for a week.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. Like realistically, I'll do what I always do: fucking protein bars and Oreos, bro.
Hey, it works too, man. It works too.
It's easy.
It is easy.
We had our first PayPal charge back at Crashbox.
What does that mean exactly?
So basically, somebody's denying the
fee or the
fee.
charge?
After they got the item up
no
before pre-order.
They pre-order, and the crazy thing is, this is the 4th time this person's ordered from us.
But this is the first time that they've
Because and I'll be honest with you, I emailed the guy, didn't get a response. I called the guy,
right.
got a voicemail that told me to call another number, and that number's disconnected. I'm thinking maybe this person doesn't exist anymore, and somebody just went through his finances and
Cancel everything. Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's fine. He didn't get the.
Well, not if he died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's
from
fine
a
for
financial
him.
sense for my business.
Yeah, it's fine for Crashbox.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
I don't know who to give it to.
Well, what's funny is the batch that that'll actually ship out probably today would have been his order, and this was last week. So.
I had a death somewhat close to me this fucking week too.
Oh man!
I know. Did I ever tell you about the guy that stole my diary when I was a kid?
Oh,
well, he fucking died.
Bobby, it was just a diary. Relax.
My thoughts are with his family now.
Jesus.
Bobby's over here looking like a trout with a bow tie. He's sophisticated. It's bad stuff. So dioramas, we are actually closing the shop tomorrow. I believe it would be Wednesday. So if you're listening on Thursday, and it's closed for the rest of the month.
You got an extra whatever set lying around you can sell now.
Yeah, we have an extra doorway we can sell. And that's
when one closes, another opens. Am I right?
and that's really about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I don't know where to begin. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I guess I'll do media. I watched Bad Vegan, which was a recommendation from Matt H. initially, but did you watch it as well?
Yeah, I also said it was interesting, but too long.
Yes, I agree. It probably could have been crunched into 2 hours, but like it is like for those that aren't familiar, like. It's kind of similar to the Tindler Swindler. There was a lot of words.
I didn't watch that one yet.
So they're
build the booth.
Yeah, they're all very similar.
Yeah,
but like
of scams and shit.
What I don't understand is just this woman ends up giving this dude who's fucking nothing or $6 million or some shit, like
millions of dollars, and he looks like a douchebag.
And like she knows at a certain point that he is a douchebag and just continues to give him money. I just don't understand how a person can get that caught up.
Same, me too. But like two things is this happens. People get scammed all the time and continues to get scammed. It's like a regular thing. But she said at some points, like at some point I had to choose to either take my losses and admit that this is a scam or keep hoping for the best and that this will pay off. Yeah, so like you choose to lie to yourself at some point.
But that's just nuts to me.
That is nuts to me. Well, like people. Well, we're not the kind of people who would get. Well, we like to think we're not the kind of people who would get caught up in scams.
That's called? I had to look up. It's called a sunk cost fallacy. You're familiar with this? When we all do this, the phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested heavily in it, even when it is clear that abandonment would be more beneficial.
Oh, that's like my ex-girlfriend.
I think we could all say that about people.
Somebody.
And then financially and then, emotionally.
Yes.
Right?
I watched Sing 2 with the kids. It's like a Pixar type.
I know what it is.
Okay, yeah.
I have no idea what it is.
So they're like animals and they sing songs.
That's
and,
very vague.
Yeah. So like,
it's just called like SING?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I thought it was like
this is the sequel.
I thought it was like SINGH.
No. So let me tell you, they're trying to get a show going in Vegas. Basically, these fun loving animals, and
this is all animal world.
Oh yeah,
okay,
100%.
I didn't know the animals trying to do a show in the people world.
No. They wear pants. They drive the taxis.
The bunny's got fat asses.
The pig's ass is fat too. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They have crippling debt. Just like,
So
it's real, bro.
I would tell you like so like it's a kids movie. There's not a whole lot to it. It's fine. It's formulaic. It's exactly kind of what you would expect to be. But there is one part that fucking hit me in the feels. There's this character that they talk about, Cal Calloway, I believe is his name, right? And they one of the things they booked this show in Vegas, but in order to book it, they had to lie and say that they had access to this kind of retired star, Cal Calloway. They don't. So they have to get it while they're building the show. They had to get him back on board. Well, his wife died, and ever since then, he's kind of become a recluse and lives on his own and is a hermit, living in solitude. So they go out there, long story short, and this porcupine convinces him to give it a shot. Like, with the old classic, like, is this what your wife would want for you to sit here miserable? One of those deals. So he comes to do the show, right? And he is the kind of finale performance, right? He's a lion.
I thought it was a cow. I thought it was Calloway.
That would have been the more appropriate choice.
What I thought it was a play on Cap Calloway, and it was Cow Calloway.
So yeah, he was a lion, and he gets cold feet at the end. And when they're doing the,
did they have slippers for him?
You would think he actually was wearing leather boots.
Oh,
but
ironic.
But he was like, I can't do this. I'm sorry, I can't. So the porcupine goes out there and plays. And while the porcupine is playing, you can see it's kind of motivating him to go out there and do it. Dude, And I know this is fucking ridiculous. And I'm 41 years old, but I'm soft and I'm trash. The camera is like at a quarter view of him, and over his left shoulder, like the spirit of his wife just walks up and stands next to him, and then he goes. And I was like, get him, Cal. Do the thing. So it was fine. I'm watching a show on Apple TV because we got it free with the magazines and everything recently. It's called Slow Horses.
Useless.
How about their teeth? Do they talk about their teeth?
It's fucking amazing. Tyler recommended it, and I gave it a shot because he said Gary Oldman was in it, and I was say less. Of course, say less. So basically, premise-wise, it's like a CIA type organization in England.
MI6?
I don't. So I'll be honest with you. I do not know their ways. I just kind of picking up the vibes, right? They have this like this training that is happening, like a live exercise, and one of their kind of new agents botches the exercise. Is to stop this guy with a bomb, and he botches the exercise. There's some discrepancies as to whether or not it's his fault or another character's fault, but I'm not real clear on that. I had to go back and rewatch the first episode because it's about description. Like, is it a white shirt with the blue pants or blue pants with the white shirt? One of those type of deals.
Gotcha.
And so he gets moved out of the kind of headquarters to this house that's 3 blocks down called Slough House. And the joke behind it in the CIA, for lack of a better term, is that it's only 3 blocks down, but it might as well be in Slough, which is, I guess, a town far from London. And Gary Oldman is the head of this house. And this guy is kind of trying to redeem himself as an agent. And there's like this conspiracy that is brewing, and they have kidnapped this right wing extremist group has kidnapped this Muslim who actually is writing jokes for a white comedian about Allah and shit. But he can't do it on his own because he's afraid to get backlash from his community.
Yeah,
and great. These extremists kidnap him, and they're going to cut his fucking head off on television to get Muslims out of their country, that kind of vibe. And he's like the exact opposite of what they think. You know what I mean? Like, so like he's kind of locked up right now, and that's where I'm at in the show. But it's fucking great. The acting is great. It's shot beautifully. It's cinematic. The act, like it's fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. It's one of them. For those that have listened in the past, where I'm like Euphoria, it's one of them, or Mind of a Married Man, or whatever that one was, it's one of them. It's one of them. And then there's another show that we're watching on there called The Servant. We watched the first season, if you remember. It's by Shyamalan. It was about a cult. This lady lost her baby, so they replaced it with like this like $20,000 fake baby as like a therapeutic thing. Like, but then like this lady comes in as like a nanny to watch it, but she's part of this cult and like brings it to life. And so we're just a couple episodes in. It's decent. It's nothing phenomenal. It's not one of them, but it's worth watching. And then I finished the DMZ.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
did it end up being good, or?
So here's the thing. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's a good story. Whoa. Dude.
Did we lose it?
No. We're still rocking and rolling. We just had a light flicker in here. Somebody must be toasting Wonder Bread upstairs. Am I bloody right? But like, it's a good story with good characters. It's just still, it's the anti-anime for me. I need to know a little bit more about the world. It's the anti-Batman. Like, I need to know a little bit more about the world, even though I like the characters and I'm grounded in the characters.
It's like it's based purely on the relationship of these characters.
Yes.
Right.
And the world is just happening. But I just need to know a little bit about it.
Why is like that? Yeah.
Because sometimes they're talking about the threats and I don't really understand the threats. They're like, well, the SFB and the due to zeros are zeroing in on us. I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? Why should I be concerned?
Yeah, you have
For
no
all I
idea
know,
what
it's a wild band of vultures.
Yeah.
We have lots of those around here, by the way.
It is true.
Fucking turkey vultures.
I know where they stay.
This is one house they hang out in.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I will talk. It's a deep dive. This is a worldwide podcast, Joe.
We're top 100 in Australia again. Thanks, Aussies.
Yeah. Well,
I had blooming onion.
Good day, mate.
Does that count? Is that supporting you guys?
So I had Outback this past week too.
Oh,
dude, cheese fries, dude.
Dude, they got the double dessert now. They got the brownie and the cake in one, bro.
bro. So anyway, I forget where I was. Oh, so yeah, it's good acting, good story, ends well, happy ending, but not super contrived, not super formulaic. Like some characters take a little weird turn. I'm kind of on board with all of it. I just need to understand the world better. I just don't get the world, and I would like to understand it better. So I give it a B- overall.
Good enough to watch.
Good enough to watch. So watch Moon Knight.
Is it episode 2 now?
Episode 1.
Okay.
Where it's just sort of how he gets in the suit, or how it's just sort of
the
that
suit gets on him.
Yeah. It's the basis for it, right? I liked it.
Good.
I liked it a lot,
This
too.
is one I'm looking forward to because I like.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was like Oscar Isaac, his performance. I attached myself to him almost immediately, so to speak. I do love that man.
He's good, except for Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's his blemish.
Yeah.
About halfway through it, me and Mason were watching it together, and I was like, I don't know this. I feel like I'm missing something. And then about 3/4 of the way through it, I realized, they want you to feel as fucking crazy as this man feels right now.
Yeah.
And they do a great fucking job doing it.
Agreed. You start to question what's real and what's not real, too. It reminds me of that Joker book I was talking about, where it's like, by the end of it, I'm not sure what the fuck is, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't love it. I'm not like chomping at the bit like I love Slough House or Slow Horses. But I quite liked it. So far, I can easily say, with the exception of Punisher and probably Daredevil, I haven't been more interested in a Marvel show other than this one.
Nice.
So I'm surprised you didn't mention this.
Talk to me.
The music.
I'm not sure if I remember it that clearly.
There's a lot of pop culture music in it. I can't remember right off. Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Yeah. Well,
it's very
that,
on the nose.
And that actually did bother me a bit.
I like on the nose music. It's just me.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm expressing my surprise that Bobby didn't mention the music.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I didn't like that scene at all. The driving action chase scene. I thought it was goofy, but
yeah, it seemed out of place to tell the story.
I agree.
The thing was like,
it was well done. But
whenever I hear "Wake Me Up Before You Go," the first thing my mind goes to is Zoolander. It's a hard nut to crack.
Right. Boy, you attach music. You attach visuals to music really quick,
like a pit bull.
Yeah.
The thing was, I know like why on the nose music can be a turn off, but like I like it in the fact that that's how my real life works. A lot of times when I'm doing something, a particular song would come to my mind, or I would say something out loud, or like before bed, I'd be like, remember to wake me up tomorrow, and then the song will come up. So like in my head, that's how it works. So when I see it on screen, I'm like, yeah, that's how that works.
But I'm okay with that too if the vibe is on the nose. This one, the vibe is 180. Like Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Serious scene. He's trying to escape.
Purpose, though?
Of course.
Yes, it's purposefully done.
But it's like it's ironic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
isn't it ironic?
Yeah, it's goofy, ironic. Yeah, like which is Marvel goofy. Like not good fun on these characters in there though. All that shit I just can't stand. But like in Zoolander, fits perfectly for the vibe, right? Even though the words of "Wake Me Up Before You Go" don't necessarily pertain to what's going on with Zoolander. The vibe is these guys just having a good time in the Jeep. You know what I mean? And then they start dousing everybody in gasoline. But,
orange mocha frappuccino.
And then there's the song that either uses the same sample or samples Big Pimpin'.
Oh, Big Pimpin'. But it's like, but it has it's
Eastern
like a Middle Eastern
vibe. Version. Yeah.
Yeah. Which they got sued for. They got sued for.
Who did?
Timberland.
For the original sample.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. Looking forward to where it goes.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's shot well. Acting's good. Story's interesting. It's different. It feels like it has a little bit more bite to it. So yeah, I'm digging it. So the last thing I have on here. Two things. One, just a random quote from Selena this week. Cocker spaniels aren't even cute. They look like moldy pigs.
I could see that.
So that was, I took note of that one. And then the other note I have on here is I went over. We have new neighbors right next to us, right?
Yes. They got a lot of cars.
I didn't even know the house was
They got
for
4
sale.
cars.
Yeah, like last year or something.
Oh.
Do they have a lot of cars? Yeah, they have 3, I think.
They have a Lincoln and like a Jeep. And
They seem to be doing all right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel like they could get a better house. And
so they have kids, and Jaina is friends with one of their kids, and Selena is friends with one of their kids. So in the beginning, like Selena's always outside, right?
Yeah.
So like she was not going to like, can you come out? Like let's go out and play. Like, and at first I think they were a little like, I don't know, like what part of the neighborhood are you going to be in, or how am I going to get in contact with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like just modern parents, right? But they play all the time now. So we had her over because she was feeling uncomfortable about, I think.
You had the mother over?
Yeah, like last year, and just met and talked and had a good time or whatever. And then they invited us over there this past Saturday.
show them the basement.
I did. They
Oh, this guy's safe.
yeah. They invited us over to their house this past Saturday. So we just walked over there and had pizza and drinks, right?
You judge the pizza?
So ironically, they wanted to get pizza from this particular place that we weren't familiar with, but we were down to try it. It was closed.
Oh, no.
So they said, "Do we have any recommendations?" And we said, "Look, we really like Manhattan pizza." And we gave a couple, and they got Manhattan pizza. So we're
Nice.
happy. So stayed there for a long time. Like had a good time. Drank probably too much, but had a good time. But before we left, the baby said, "Do you think they'll let you play music at their house?"
Because they didn't have any music.
Well, they did. They got some going, but it was just funny.
Any Australian drill?
Not on any Australian drill, but it was just funny that the baby was like, she was worried about the vibes and was like hoping that I could get the aux, but I didn't. But we did get into music discussions and everything else, and it's interesting. It's like a similar generation that they're from, and they've kind of let go. Like they had their younger days with music, where music is important to you, and then they let go of it. And I'm like, well, this is kind of interesting stuff going on today, and that's kind of interesting. And then like some of the stuff they don't know about that I was into, and
Like drill,
but also which we did get into, but also like I'm doing and they like the UK stuff. But what's interesting is I'm doing Bobby Boogie Bot research now for next month on Patreon is the Bristol scene of the UK, like in the 90s. Like it changed music for fucking ever. Massive Attack, Tricky, Portishead, like a lot of that electronic sound that was kind of atmospheric.
Prodigy.
No, not so much Prodigy, but it was more laid.
Smack the bitch up, no?
More laid back generally than what we got with Prodigy. But so I was doing a lot of research into that, and I happened to talk to them about like some of the stuff that I'd been listening to, because they were like, "Well, what are you listening to today?" And I was like, "Well, I was listening to a lot of this stuff. I don't always listen to this stuff. So played some of that, and they were unfamiliar with with like Tricky and Massive Attack and stuff. But a lot of people know Massive Attack records because they're in almost every movie you've ever seen. They just don't know it's Massive Attack. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that was pretty much my week. We do have a couple notes. Triple H, farewell to Triple H.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about
No.
this at all? I just kept it in here.
Sure. So Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, WWE, I don't know, 15 times. I don't know how many championships he's won. Kind of it was a mainstay of WWE.
I remember when
basically
it was new.
after The Rock and Stone Cold weren't wrestling anymore, he kind of took the torch and led the company.
Okay, because he was before them. I remember when he was new in the 90s, when he came in with a crown and a scepter, right?
Well, he came in like the blue blood aristocratic guy.
Yeah, right. He had
I don't remember a crown and a scepter. But
okay, maybe it's just my head, but like he was like some kind of royalty guy.
Sure. And then obviously DX was a huge thing with him and Shawn Michaels.
Did he do this?
Yes.
Yeah, a suck it bunch. Yeah,
Suck and punch.
and then after, so Shawn Michaels, God, this will make me feel old. Shawn Michaels fought Stone Cold WrestleMania 13. That's when Mike Tyson was the special referee, and Shawn Michaels was going to be out. He needed like years off to heal, and that's when Stone Cold really became the top tier. Well, Triple H the next night basically formed the full DX with Road Dogg and
forming the full
Billy
DX
Gunn and
with Road Dogg
and X-Pac. all those guys.
X-Pac, yeah.
And then, went on to have some great matches and ended up being, he's married to Stephanie McMahon, who's the boss's wife.
Right.
But he was running.
Is that real or is it just for the
that's
show?
true, yeah.
Off both.
And he was running the, basically their developmental territory, NXT, until he actually had a cardiac event. That's all they're calling it. But he can't wrestle anymore. Like his body can't do that anymore. So he did the thing that when you retire from wrestling, you leave your boots in the ring. And he did that. I'm like, oh, dude. I've never been a huge Triple H fan. I enjoy watching him, but I'm not like, he's not my favorite or anything. He's a super talented guy.
You didn't like him in Blade Trinity?
Oh, I loved him in Blade Trinity. That's the best work he's ever done.
That's the third one?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know. Because Triple H is a vampire in that movie. Man's much better with the beard, balances out that honker he's got, but tell me I'm wrong.
It's a distinguished.
Yeah. So, and the Undertaker, I didn't talk about the Undertaker. They did a Hall of Fame ceremony. Undertaker had a nice thing there. Kind of a farewell.
Nice.
Vince McMahon actually wrestled this weekend.
Did Stone Cold wrestle?
He wrestled.
One of my friends was at a wrestling match. I'm like, is that Stone Cold?
Yeah, he must have been at WrestleMania then, because Stone Cold. It was supposed to be an interview with this guy, and it was a brawl. It was a match, but it was all over the place. I mean, he still got it. He did give Vince McMahon
rattlesnake.
He gave Vince McMahon a stunner, and Vince McMahon it's literally the worst thing you've ever seen. It's like he just melts. He falls, so he kicks him in the gut. He kicks him in the gut, and then you give him So he kicks him in the gut, and Vince stumbles and falls down, and then tries to bounce off the rope, and Stone Cold just laughing the whole time. It was so awful. That was
He's also like 85,
but dude, he's jacked.
I mean,
he's still
fucking chemicals, man.
I know, right?
Modern science.
Yeah.
This note is interesting to me, and I thought could spark a conversation here. Todd McFarlane puts foot in mouth about female action figures. Are you familiar with this?
Nope.
I think I read it, but please elaborate for everyone.
So he took part in an interview last week.
He's just him being him.
And so he's nuts, right?
Yes.
So let's establish that.
Start with that.
You have to take, in my mind, you have to take everything he says like it's being said by a complete maniac. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that he doesn't understand that people don't want a 7-inch Hulk standing next to a 7-inch Spider-Man, to me, should automatically suggest to you that he doesn't have a firm grip on reality.
Yeah.
He also thinks that Batman is kooky and Spawn makes sense. So, this is not a person that's playing with a full deck.
No.
And that's probably why some of his work has been so great.
Yes.
Kanye West, artists. Fucking David Bowie. This shit is...
see, those people have wranglers. Who's the hell's wrangling Todd?
So that's a fair point. So he said in an interview...
He needs a babysitter, like we've discussed.
It's rubbed people the wrong way. When discussing female action figures, he completely shows his asses, according to the author of this, which I do have some issues with the journalism of this article, to be fair. But not only does he say that he couldn't put a whole wave of female action figures in one wave at retail in the boys figure aisle, but he also tells a horribly long story about a boy receiving a female action figure and being incredibly disappointed, before also implying that the sadness of getting a female action figure may lead to someone becoming a serial killer. So all right, so let's unpack that a bit. So this is what I mean by he's completely fucking insane,
yes.
Right? And you should never take Todd McFarlane and say oh, you know what, Todd's got a good point about young boys buying female action figures and becoming serial killers because he wrote Spawn. You could pay attention to psychologists and psychiatrists and people that study the mind and human behavior sociologists, or you could pay attention to the guy that wrote Spawn.
Yeah.
You have these two options before you, right? All right. So then he says, so then this writer goes on to kind of unpack this a bit. But what the writer does write is he says that the action figure genre is not for children anymore.
Correct.
And that children are gravitating towards mystery boxes, Lego sets, app-enabled gimmicks, things. And I 100% agree.
Not physical anything.
I think this person has their finger on the pulse as far as that. Now, he says companies like Hasbro, Mattel, NECA, and yes, McFarlane Toys know this. They also know that they have ignored an audience and a social movement over these last few years, asking where the hell are female superheroes, wrestlers, and action figures. A few years ago, the hashtag Where's Natasha went viral about the Avengers Age of Ultron. But like, here's the thing about that. And I can't speak on the Natasha one because I didn't... I have a Natasha, and I had to choose which one I wanted, to be fair. But I remember the Where's Ray hashtag, and... It was nonsense. Mm-hmm. It was unfounded. She was selling out because she was popular at that time.
Yeah. Right.
Now you can't fucking get rid of a Ray action figure.
Well, I went by Ollie's recently, and they probably have 100 3 3/4 inch Ray figures in 2 different varieties that have for $7 on clearance that will probably be there until the store closes.
Off the top of my head, there was 2 Black Series offerings. There was at least 2 3 3/4, one that came with the little speeder, and then one on its own. Then there was the 3 3/4 multi-articulated one, so that's 5. And there was like the stupid 12-inch ones that just moved their arms,
and then there's the 6-inch that came with the big orange box.
You're right
as well.
You're right.
That was different because it had the couple things with it,
the goggles and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then there was the Hot Toys, if you want to go, you know what I mean? Like for just to show that they were available at all different levels of income, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't stop the soccer mom from creating the Where's Ray hashtag when this bitch is not in the game.
Right.
So, like, of course you don't understand where Ray is because you're showing up to Target 3 days after the fucking box came out with fucking 2 p.m. You know what I mean? You don't understand what's going on here.
That's not how it works.
Nope.
That's not how any of this works.
So, then he goes on to break down, he says boys don't want female action figures. Now,
that's
well, he said perhaps maybe the problem is the myth that boys don't want female action figures. So, like, I think there's an element of truth to that.
Yes.
Right? Like, we all came from that same era. We remember X-Men Storm being...
Yes,
just
wall to wall.
Never seen like the toy industry, female wise, didn't recover from that for fucking years. I bought, I think, 20 of them because they had them on sale at KB Toys for like $1.99. I bought like 20 of them and with fucking Citadel paint at the time, painted them into Psylocke and Rogue and fucking all the characters I actually wanted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I do think that the majority of young boys do want the Snake Eyes, the Wolverine, the Spider-Man. I think that's where they kind of lean.
I mean, they're in world, they're the main characters.
Yeah, that too. And I don't know if
I mean, if you just look at this lineup, this team, there's 3 chicks in there.
Yeah.
And there's like 20 people on that shelf. There's 3 chicks in there.
I would,
and they're not the top tier character just by character alone. Well, so like if you want to pick a lineup from there of like the main
Figuarts,
Avenger movies,
Avengers.
Yeah. Like if you want like the most popular characters, like
where's the Aquafina?
They haven't made her. I'm not buying her either. But they did make a Nebula, which I didn't get. I was supposed to get, but I didn't.
I would like to hear. I mean. I don't know. He was asked a question to and this is how he answered it. And I'm not defending him, but I think out of context, this obviously the serial killer bit is batshit crazy. But I don't think it's a good idea to present an entire wave of female characters.
I don't either.
Because I don't think so either.
I don't either.
Yeah,
because like you are obviously it's for the collectors, but you are grabbing the casual. Grandma,
cool.
parents, whatever,
Spider-Man,
kid, exactly.
Batman, whatever.
It's like it or not, regardless of gender, like for decades, the male characters has been around as the main. Like even if you have new female main characters, you're not going to top Batman and Spider-Man.
Correct. For
the average audience.
Correct. And he goes on to give a list of things to kind of make his point. And I shouldn't assume it's a him because I haven't looked at the author, Joe. But if we go out and say Marvel Legends released in 2021 147 figures with 34 female characters, a percentage of the line being 23%.
I mean, how is that compared to the in world though? I mean,
so I don't know
exactly,
and I think that's a fair question to ask.
If that's the breakdown, then that's accurate.
Right. Black Series did 75 releases with 9 female characters for 12%. Masters of the Universe did 25 with 5 female figures for a percentage of 20.
I mean, how many female characters are there in Masters of the Universe?
That's like 4.
Well, unless you get into the She-Ra stuff, which I don't think they did.
I don't think they did with that line. They might have done a She-Ra like as an exclusive. I could be wrong.
WWE put out 246 figures.
Wow.
With 38 female figures at 15%.
Their female book is trash.
DC put out 91 figures with 9 female figures with a 10%, which I do think is objectively low, being that I do think that DC has the strongest female lineup.
Agreed. They should have more.
Agreed.
They have the ability to have more.
But here's what this is how numbers fuck up facts. Show me data of your, what was it, 191 figures released this year, of which ones weren't fucking Batman.
Yeah, 50 of them are Batman.
You know, like that's where the numbers get skewed, right? Is like if we're going by character, like of those 9 women, how many of them were fucking Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
And how many people need 9 fucking Wonder Women or whatever it was?
I'm trying to think what other female characters they put out last year.
Catwoman?
Dude,
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Probably. That's what I'm
Harley.
just guessing. Yeah.
Suicide Squad Harley,
Exactly.
I'm sure it was one. Like, I'm just like, my thing with that is like, dude, like you're talking to a guy, I'm chomping at the bit for Siren. I'm chomping at the bit for Feral. I'm chomping at the bit for Wolfsbane. I'm chomping at the bit for a lot of female characters that haven't gotten the time of day. However, I also understand from an industry standard that those, just like you said, Joe, they're not going to move in the same way that Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Batman.
Never.
It's just not going to happen.
Because like, if you put out a wave of not A-list male characters, they will sell just as poorly.
Oh, so he says of those 9, 6 were Wonder Woman, 2 were Harley.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So I just found the checklist for everything they put out last year. So Batgirl from 3 Jokers. In NK as Batman Beyond, which I believe is a female character. Let's see here. A lot of Batmans.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like
Gotti put out a lot of figures.
even like people, I don't think,
And you know what he's counting? He does these platinum editions, which is like a gold figure.
right? And I think that this
That's not platinum, it's gold.
Let me. I just say I think
Whatever.
that McFarlane is insane,
Yes.
and that you should never take any idea from him as a business plan, like my personal opinion. But I also think that the way that this article is angled is also, it's unrealistic.
Yes.
You know, like I want all the characters, male, female, like I want them all, but I also understand that like the business is the business.
Yeah, because the average audience isn't going to, average buyer isn't buying everything. They don't have the money or the time or the space to buy everything.
And you even take the male female thing out of it. I'm going to get 30 Wonder Women before I'm going to get Feral. You know, it's just it's a popular character, like you know. So anyway, I thought it would lead to something.
I mean, we didn't do top 5 Sea Spray figures, right? We did top 5 Prime.
right.
Shout out to Sea Spray though.
Yeah,
Top 5 Ollies, though.
yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier edits. Did you hear anything about this?
No.
So apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, Disney went in and edited out some gore of one episode.
Yeah, like some blood splatters on the character's face, and that's not there anymore.
Fans called it out on Reddit, and they've gone back and put it back in.
I don't know
It's
about
like Mortal
that.
Kombat fucking
I haven't
code.
seen that.
Let me see if I can.
On Super Nintendo?
Justice is restored for the blood and violence of Falcon and Winter Soldier after an edited version of the Power Broker episode was accidentally uploaded last week as human error. Give me a fucking break. It just happened to happen around the same time that these fucking people are making a big fucking deal about Daredevil and all this shit.
At the same time, they've got Daredevil, and I mean the Punisher. If you just take the Punisher prison hallway scene, that alone is more blood than any of these other shows have had in it.
But I can just see it's like it all kind of is adding up. It's not like it's just coincidence, right? Like I've heard about them, just never seen one for myself. It says, while it's good to have the correct form of the episode back, we've got to say we'll miss the goofy one from before.
I don't know if that goes into it, but apparently they also, at the end of Spider-Man, he says, "What the f?" Now it's like what the, and there's like a car horn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Next one, Obi-Wan Delayed. Delayed B. Ewan McGregor revealed that Obi-Wan premiere date has been bumped from Wednesday, May 25th to Friday, May 27th. 2 days.
No, 2 days.
Oh my God.
2 days.
2 days.
No big deal. I did see something. I'm not sure if it's real or not.
You can keep it to yourself. I don't want to be spoiled on this at all.
It involves, I mean, everyone's going to predict that this would happen if it was real. But it involves a fight scene, and it's very brief.
Okay.
And if you're like, a fight scene between him and him, yep, that's the one.
So
I mean, that's the one I would want.
right.
they're just moving it. They're moving it to Friday. I wonder if they're going back to Fridays, like because
I'm not sure it's the one you want. It's the one you would predict.
Okay.
Because I kind of like them better on Fridays than Wednesdays. I don't know why. Like I'll be honest, I never.
I like that you have a preference.
I never.
I do.
I never remember that the shit was coming on until like midday Wednesday. I'm like, fuck. So Friday, I seem to remember.
Well, I've gotten into this habit now of during my walks to watch an episode of something instead of listening to a podcast or music. And I've almost got hit by a car twice. I'll have you know. But
some people drive real fast on this motherfucker.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I got to start paying attention to people backing out. In my head, none of these people go to work. You know, like they're still in the pandemic.
Yeah.
But like I got to watch because both times I got hit was almost from people backing out of their fucking driveways. But yeah, it's I'm excited about this show in general. I want more images of the scenery because I think my last diorama is going to be an Obi-Wan themed one, I need to have some sort of point of reference for, and I don't want to do another Tatooine one. You know,
sure.
All right, and then weird news. We have two weird news things.
You left them in.
Yeah, this was worth talking about. An embalmed body of a dead rapper was propped up at a DC nightclub.
Wow.
Prop me up beside the jukebox if I die.
The late Maryland rapper, Gunu, quite literally received
Gunu?
the weekend at Bernie's
like Grogu?
treatment this
Bobby,
past
Gunu?
God bless the dead for one. Gunu,
Too soon.
Gunu, 24, was shot in a parking lot in Prince George's County, Maryland, on March 18th, and died several hours later at an area hospital. His family believes he was the victim of an armed robbery, and the Prince George's County Police Department is offering a $25,000 reward for information to his. And look, first of all, we're joking about this. This is fucking, hate to see young kids die. Thoughts to his family, friends, fans,
it's tragedy,
etc.
Like, fucking guy got killed. Bro.
Yeah. On Sunday, April 3rd, Gunu's family and friends had a celebratory event at a Washington, D.C. Bliss nightclub, which was billed as the rapper's final show. As Complex points out, Gunu's apparent embalmed corpse was propped up upright and on full display during the event, adorned with a crown and designer clothing.
Nice.
A rapper named Black Fortune, who attended the event, confirmed that it was Gunu's actual body and no wax figure. As long as his mother was happy, that's all that mattered. Bliss nightclub said it was never made aware. Bliss was contacted by a local funeral home to rent out our venue. We sincerely apologize to all those who may be upset or offended.
Man, why? But this is not a
I don't know if you can, if they show them.
There's people like buck wild dancing like 5 feet from.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that's what he wanted.
But this is not a first time thing. There is a specialty type of service where you viewing of them. But sometimes it's like a guy on a motorcycle propped up. It's a thing that people do where they look like they're doing something cool,
right,
and not just in a fucking box,
right.
It's controversial, but I mean, if I had to be on display.
Weird news part 2. Also in the local DMV area, you'll be happy to know, Joe. Of
course.
Washington, D.C. officers discovered 5 fetuses inside the Capitol Hill home where an anti-abortion activist lives. Police went
Wait.
I know. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna say it one more time.
Word by word.
Washington, D.C. You know the area.
Yeah.
The officers, police,
interpretation of a foreign kid.
Armed professionals to protect and serve the community discovered 5 fetuses, not 1, 2, 3, or 4, Joe, but 5 whole fetuses inside.
The fetus can be many things. It can be a tadpole. Or
I told you if I ever started a heavy metal band, my name for it was going to be Fetal Pig.
Because I should know this, being a medical professional, but it's the fetus as long as it hasn't come out yet, right?
I think so, yeah.
So So like it can be
because it has to be plugged in, right? Like that's
it's like Matrix.
It could be 8 weeks or 8 months.
It's like 7 months is still a fetus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these fetuses were found inside the Capitol Hill home where an anti-abortion activist lives. So this person hates abortions,
but has a
few fetuses hanging out. Police.
Where were they? Did they say where? Okay.
I'm gonna. Hopefully, they're gonna.
Fascinated.
Yeah. Police went to 28-year-old Lauren Handy's basement apartment in the 400 block of 6th Street on Wednesday afternoon to investigate a tip about potential biohazard material at the house. The medical examiner's office collected the fetuses, and police are investigating. The department told News 4 no further information was available about the fetuses, including where they came from.
There are so many questions. Who tipped them? Who found out and tipped them off?
My initial reaction is it's horrifying to hear that there are fetuses in someone's house. A neighbor told News 4.
This is a real thing, right? This is not a setup for some fucking dad joke.
Nope. All real. There's charges are coming down. Prosecutors allege the group engaged in a conspiracy to create a blockade at the reproductive health care clinic.
Were they going to throw fetuses at people?
I don't know.
That's my thought, is they were going to do something nefarious with these as a shock and awe thing, and some.
Oh, like the Transformers.
Yeah,
nefarious fetus.
Yeah.
Do you have a massive piece, shock and awe?
No, I don't.
I don't. Before we get into notes, I have one more thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Or the questions, rather.
I'm Jackie Chan face right now, especially because I'm Asian.
That's racist, John. I don't appreciate it.
I want to talk about Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
What about Bruce Willis?
So Bruce Willis has retired from acting.
Yes.
Suddenly to the outside world. He's being diagnosed with something I've never heard of. It's called aphasia. Basically, your mind it's a form of dementia, the best I can tell. It robs you of your cognitive skills and abilities to speak. They said you can just speak in these bursts of words that don't really make sense. It's kind of heartbreaking. Apparently, for about past couple years, he's either had to wear an earpiece, and no action scenes are basically paying him to be the face on some of these B movies he's been making.
Yeah, because he's been making a lot of B movies.
So listen. At the end of the day, hopefully those B movies have I'm sure. I'd like to think that Bruce Willis has done well enough for himself, or
I would imagine
able to be taken care of for the rest of his life, and Demi Moore isn't draining him.
Demi Moore cash. Am I right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that thing.
But yeah, I would say that thoughts and prayers. And
that was sad.
It's
man.
a fucking bummer.
That's like I won't say he was my hero, but he was an action hero. You grew up kind of like. And I guess it sits in that damn people get old. Like, you don't think about Bruce Willis being 25 years older than me. So yeah, he's up there.
I say this with no intent to start debate. It was just something listening back to these episodes to do greatest hits. It got me thinking about with terms of inclusion and races and such. And I think that one thing that's interesting to me that I've listening back is I've like, why it seems so foreign to me? I think.
Oh man, you caught it first. You caught it first.
I got to thinking about it, and I was like, all my white male heroes as a child were fictional characters, and all my male heroes as a child that were not were minorities.
Athletes.
So, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. No, that's not true. Mike Tyson.
Anyone.
Bruce Lee. I purposely looked over at Chris for that. I don't know which is more awkward, by the way. Batman. Han Solo.
Okay.
And I think that, I think there's something to be said. And not to say, maybe my experience is unique, right? But I think that there's something to be said for people of our generation that did grow up, and maybe it's different here during that time.
Yeah.
Where I think for me anyway, it was this very inclusive thing where there was people I could honestly say I didn't have any women as heroes as a kid. But it was a part of my DNA. Other races, it was as much a part of the people that I looked up to and who I modeled myself after. I can't tell you how many times I punched a chair trying to punch like Mike Tyson, that I danced trying to dance like Michael Jackson. People on Patreon have seen the pictures. You know, or wore a fake gun on my hip trying to be Han Solo, or joined fucking karate to be Bruce Lee.
Girls in the head, yeah.
You know, to kick girls in the head.
Girls in the head, right?
So it's just something that has come to mind while listening back, as I think maybe a unique experience that maybe perhaps the 80s babies were the first of that.
To be more exposed to and be more okay with.
Yeah.
Because I assume, like...
Because those boundaries started breaking down, right? Like, MTV played white music, quote unquote, until Michael Jackson. And then MTV played all music, and that's what I grew up on. Yeah. You know, and I think that maybe my time of growing up had just the right amount of boundaries being broken where I'd never perceived life in these super segregated terms.
Yeah, because like it's also a part with your upbringing is your environment, but also your parenting, right? I assume like some people in the generation before too had racist parents.
Yeah,
you know, or
but you know my theory that there are Ku Klux Klan members in this country that have Michael Jackson's Thriller in the basement and tell no one.
You know, I never really thought about that, Bobby. But
from Alabama,
growing up, my bedroom was plastered with sports posters and all black people. You know, Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, David Robinson. I mean, I can think of a handful of others.
Well, the other, I mean, just bonus of that is Bo knew this and Bo knew that.
Yeah, Bo knew a lot. Yeah, he did. Bo definitely did.
But like, yeah, I just I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about as I've been listening back. I'm like, man, like the multicultural melting pot, you know, like that kind of is often used in a very bumper sticker hyperbolic term.
Yeah.
It really was what I experienced. And I think that that's my perception that I'm always bringing to that discussion.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's a big country, not just a big world, but it's big countries too. So like being in this area definitely going to be a little bit.
Agreed.
But you're from Alabama, so that's a different experience.
Yeah.
So even you can speak to that, but I'm assuming it wasn't the same across the board for everywhere.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Interesting. Questions. So we have Dave.
Which Dave?
Well,
lots of Daves.
I'm gonna be honest
First
with
name,
you.
middle name, last name, social security number.
Dave's all I got.
How you doing, Dave?
He says, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" I like to ask that of all my prey. Escape Plan B, worth the watch. Keep the recommendations coming, Pinkerton. The first dud you recommend, and I disown you.
Okay.
Wait,
so far so good.
Okay. What am I recommending?
Escape Plan. Did you recommend that?
I recommend the first one, and I said
Okay.
the second one is not good.
Okay, so he gives you a B for that one. So you're still on board.
Oh,
I thought the movie was called Escape Plan B.
Oh no.
I was very confused
like
about it.
Plan B.
That's solid.
Like,
Plan B.
you know,
I mean something different to be working in the
I
pharmacy.
know the over-the-counter.
I'll pause it real quick. So he goes on to say, I have watched it and felt the need to watch the second one right after because it had me in a good mood. It wasn't that great, but not the worst shit I've ever sat through.
But same.
There you go.
Same vibes, bro.
Then he goes on to say, have you guys ever watched the documentary called The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
Yep.
I have as well.
We talk about it, right?
I have as well. He says from 2009, it documents the life of the White family from Boone County, West Virginia. It showcases the family with drug addiction, conning the government for money,
breeding too?
moonshining, tap dancing, and other ridiculous shit. It was produced by Johnny Knoxville. If you haven't seen it, yes, I've seen it. I loved it.
A couple funny points on that one. Apparently, Johnny Knoxville never paid them a penny for that. And it's
really?
what they claim. And the one that said, I was always the sexy one. Her daughter's on TikTok and is like, when your mom thinks she's famous, and posts all these crazy clips of her mom.
So he says, if by chance you guys have watched this already, I'm sorry for wasting your time and just delete my email because I'm a douchebag. First of all, you're not a douchebag. We appreciate the write-in. Secondly,
Thanks, Dave.
I want to tell you my favorite part of The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Please tell me.
Is when this young child is playing with a fucking shotgun in the living room and the mother says, what are you doing? And in my head, I went, oh, look at this. Parenting. She's not okay with this child playing with what apparently seems to be an armed, loaded shotgun in the living room with other children mucking about. Then she goes on to say, you're going to knock down my ceiling fan with that thing.
No, so yeah. So like it's double, right? Like not only are you not okay with them playing with a gun, you already know it's gonna go off.
Yes.
and you're okay with that part.
Or I think it wasn't even the going off part. It was just that it's a short ceiling.
Yeah.
And he's kind of waving the gun around, and he was afraid he was literally going to knock it off. But yeah, Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia is quite a delight in an interesting sociological study.
I watched a video, a guy, I now have to find it, I'll send it to you guys. He's in West Virginia. I think the name of the town is Odd, West Virginia.
Oh, yeah,
and it's this completely inbred family. Like,
oh, yeah, I've told you about this.
Oh, yeah. It's on, watch the videos.
It's on soft white underbelly or whatever.
That's a crazy ass channel.
It is.
That's some
I
banana
recommend
shit
it.
on there.
Like I was just saying,
like they go to
that's
Walmart.
the guy that's barking.
Did you see the one where they went to Walmart?
No.
Well, the guy.
I gotta go back.
The guy takes him to Walmart.
I'm down to take a road trip.
To go visit these people?
I'm not driving.
I don't think my kind is welcome around there.
We're not. No.
Yeah, let's do it.
Only if you wear Only if you wear the mask.
You getting nuts? Let's get nuts.
I'll film.
It's a big country. It's a very different way to grow up.
It's a big country.
So Billings writes in. He says, "Gentlemen, I bring to you today an utmost concern. Sorry, Bobby, you're going to have to thumb scroll this one. I found out recently that there are different ways to wipe your ass, and I'm not talking about paper movement technique. If you wipe front to back to front, perfectly folded sheets, or a bunched up wad. That's
Shout out to TFCon 2018. Remember that? We had a conversation about this for hours. No, it was Skullfest over here one year.
Oh, yeah. Crumpled versus folds. And I'm talking about position. Let me explain. I had a loose toilet seat in our master bathroom. I would tighten the plastic bolts from the toilet seat, and a week later it'd be loose again. This went on for a while until I replaced the whole toilet seat and tightened that bitch down. Seemed okay for a bit. Fast forward a couple weeks, and the mother-in-law comes over for dinner, and sometimes after she leaves, I notice the guest bathroom toilet seat is loose and off-center. Tightened it and pondered for a bit. The whole sequence of events repeats itself a couple more times until I noticed a pattern. Finally, while at another dinner gathering, I asked my wife and mother-in-law, what the fuck is up with the toilet seat if you guys use it? It was explained to me that they both stay seated and lift up one cheek and lean to the side to wipe their ass. What the actual fuck? And he does a mind explode emoji. I've literally never heard of this or seen this in practice in my life. I just assumed everyone normal, sane person stood up and bent over
what the fuck?
To wipe their ass.
Hello?
I told them that's weird as fuck. I could not let this go. I took to Google and found out that there's a whole population of side leaners.
Are you fucking kidding me?
There's even others that stayed seated normally and just reach their hand underneath
if you got a mobility
and wipe that way. Am I wrong to think this is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? How do y'all wipe?
Insane. You are fucking insane.
You are fucking insane.
You are fucking
insane. Are you
insane.
a stand?
I'm a stand.
Oh, what the fuck?
So what are you? I'm a leaner.
Yeah.
I'm a side leaner.
I'm a big motherfucker.
Depends on how much mobility I have during the day. Sometimes I don't have to lean as much. But if I'm stiff, I'm leaning like a motherfucker.
And I lean on my left. I lift my right cheek up.
Is that why that toilet's that little off center in
yes.
there?
I don't have a big ass.
It's not why the toilet's off center. That's a building issue. My ass ain't that big.
Yeah, my ass isn't big. I don't usually have to like lift the cheek itself. Like it just spreads enough when
I've always been a stander.
That's nuts.
Dude, that's how you die. You're gonna stand up one day, reach over, and then fucking get low blood pressure and ram your head directly into the fucking shower curtain or the towel rod in front of you and bust your head in.
It's my time to go, Joe.
Yeah, so I'm a leaner.
And
then you're gonna fucking the way you're gonna fucking collapse. They're gonna find you with your head down, ass up, shit smeared all over your cheeks, bro.
Is there any other way I would want to go out?
So
I never thought of this.
Yeah, I never heard of that either.
I mean, I have done the I have done the back and front, like the side lean.
I've only done the side lean. I know that some people go betwixt their legs. I'm not fumbling through all that.
If I'm on a squatty potty, which I use a lot because they're very comfortable, then it's just like already open. Just reach down.
Squatty potty is just like a regular toilet.
Yeah, just one hand lift the ball sack, the other reach around, and then you can just drop the toilet paper right there. You don't have to fucking bring it around. But stand the fuck up.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's how you smeared shit all up your ass crack, bro.
But, I mean,
hey, Billings, just know you're not the only one, buddy.
As a guy that's like whatever you are, 8'6", how do you make room for all of that in the bathroom? There's got to be because you're not afraid of shitting in public like I am. So like, what have you ever been to like a nightclub that has like this little itty bitty stall that you got?
First of all, I would never shit in a nightclub
or some environment that has a small toilet.
I've been in some very small stalls in like an airport.
I would imagine that every stall is somewhat small for you, sir.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If the handicap's available, I know
it,
but
I feel vulnerable. I don't use the handicaps. Well, it's too big.
Yeah,
it makes me nervous, like someone's gonna get me.
I mean, yeah.
You shit with your knees together.
I don't feel safe shitting in a big space. I don't know what it is. It's like there's too much room.
So Blaster wrote in, he put the Bel Air music to the opening sequence from last week. And he had to painstakingly like move that audio around to make it, so like shout out to him. He sent the audio here, but I am going to request that all of you go to the Nerd Rage Radio Facebook page where you can see the video that Ricky put together for it with the images and such. But it was like, as soon as he sent it and I listened to it, I was like, man, that's a ton of work. So shout out to Blaster.
Shout out.
Ryan said, don't stop the media reviews. To answer Joe's question, I definitely watch your recommendations or have watched your suggestions. I look forward to hearing them and hearing how much Bobby hates everything. Keep the sci-fi coming.
Thanks for all this. I've been getting a lot of these feedback, so appreciate it.
Yeah. Kevin R says, "Oh, the places we go. What up, fellow motherfuckers?"
All right.
So
I'm not. Oh, I fucked a mother. Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
never mind.
I
dated.
I do on the reg.
I'm a single mom.
So I have been traveling a lot and stay at probably 20 or so different hotel rooms, Airbnbs a year. One thing that is popular now is smart TVs, so you can log into your Hulu, Netflix, Disney.
That's super nice.
Well, at least every one of these I have been to, people seem to always forget to log out. And then he sends the demon emoji. So I like to use their accounts to watch what I want or random things to mess up their feeds and recommendations. YouTube is my absolute favorite because I can subscribe to all my friends' channels. You're welcome, Bobby, on someone else's account. Also, if they are right-wing, CNN, Biden, MSNBC, subscribed. If they're left-wing, Pool, Fox, and Trump. Like rap and R&B, here comes some country and metal. I don't know why I get joy out of this, but my question is, am I a monster or would you guys indulge in the harmless fun?
No, it was amazing. I mean, it's their fault for not logging out.
I would consider it a fee that they're paying for not being responsible and logging out.
It could be worse.
And it's also kind of trash that they don't purge the cache when you check out either. But it's also funny that you didn't
it could be a lot more harmful. You can try to fucking find out or change the password or some other shit.
Or upload videos.
But like Bobby said, the easiest way to fuck if you see no anime on their fucking shit, just play one episode of anime and you'll be inundated with anime forever.
Probably true.
Yes. So all of our streaming accounts, we have separate anime accounts because I don't want no part of that shit. Because seriously, if you play like 15 seconds, you play the intro to like one thing, that's all your feed will be.
Yes.
Next one is from Joe S. And he says, "Sup NRR crew, Chris, you must be my gastrointestinal brother from another mother." Does he stand over to fucking wipe his ass?
Yeah, you got to check what's going on.
You nailed it the other week with the travel snack choices. The Wawa sweet cream cheese pretzels is the shizat.
Yes.
Anyway, have you all read the new information on the next season of Book of Boba?
There's another season?
Dude done retired and started a hot dog and sausage restaurant. It's only operated by people born on Tatooine, and he names it Bubba's Native Tatooiners. So, generally speaking, the Transformers mainline is getting better. If we were getting the quality of figures before third-party MP Legend scale, would you still be into the MP Transformers? Not saying what we are getting are now mini masterpieces, but I think we could say that if you look at the core 86 movie characters that have come out within the last few years, they are a solid group, and it will be hard to replace them anytime soon. So, I've actually said this, that if I was getting into it now, I'd be very tempted to go mainline based on two things. One, they have improved. However, the legacy looks like a step backward to me, so I feel like I'd only be setting myself up for disappointment. But two, the Marvel Legends display has taught me, much like Crashbox slogan, that I can elevate my display to a point that overcomes the weaknesses of the figures to have something that is both meaningful and good looking.
There you go.
Nice.
I picked up the blaster from that.
Master Blaster coming at you.
The Legacy line, which apparently was the same one that got released the prior line before. But this is the. Have you seen the new packaging?
Yes. Well, I've seen the Takara packaging is very metallic and very.
Oh, this is not that.
Okay.
This is. There's no plastic, and you can reach in and touch the toy if you want.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Let me show you.
It's just strapped in.
It's just strapped in.
Oh, with those little, is it those little like strings, those little like
those
cardboard ties.
You will never be able to get rid of. I get so angry at
I
that.
can find it.
Who taught you to wipe your ass?
Joe, that's a good question. I mean, I will straight up ask my parents because obviously that's where is this? That's obviously where I learned.
I remember. Okay, look, here's a story. I remember exactly when I learned to wipe my ass.
Okay.
So somebody.
I can tell you, I wasn't good at it for a long time. I can tell you that much.
Oh,
yeah. Think
so
about it.
like, yeah, I don't know. Someone has been taught usually, right? So everybody think back on how you started wiping your ass. But for me, I always had someone wipe my ass for me. Oh, you can touch it.
That's crazy.
Old school. Through I remember kindergarten. Like, after I'm done shitting, I'd call grandma or mom or somebody come wipe my ass.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. So I'm done. Exactly. I'm done. So you did that too. It's not just me. It's not just me. So I had to shit. It's the wild. In the kindergarten, in the bathroom, if I remember correctly, it's like a big room, no stall, just a row of seats. So everyone go at the same time. We are just a bunch of us all sit down.
Now, was this in your apartment, or is this a community bathroom on a floor?
No, in school, in kindergarten.
Oh, in school. Oh, no. We had stalls and urinals.
So that's bathroom time. So I miss kindergarten. I don't know. I don't know if it's normal. Like thinking back, but like it was an open room with a bunch of seats. We all just sat down. I never usually have to shit. It's always just sit down or pee or wait till it's time and we all get up and go. It's very, very structured. But this one time I had to shit, right? And then I was done and I was like looking at the attendant or teacher. I don't remember who it was. Adult at the time and tell them I'm done. They're like, okay. And then I was just waiting for them to wipe my ass. And that didn't happen. And then
the day that never comes.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I think I have to wipe my own ass. So that's
great. You have a memory of that.
I specifically remember that's the first, and then from then on, I wiped my own ass. I'm like, I can do it now.
My guess would be that it was at my mother's house. That my mother wasn't gonna, she was probably passed out somewhere anyway. That sitting on the toilet, and I was like, yeah, I better figure this out. So that was my natural. Are you a fold and hold or crumble and swipe?
A little bit of both.
A little of both.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are really real punk rockers.
Well, I used to fold specifically when I was a kid because I didn't want to waste toilet paper. My grandma would say 4 pieces of toilet paper is what you get.
Oh, that's my dad.
I would fold it and make sure I get the maximum coverage.
I always use more anyway.
But so the lift one side and wipe was my natural inclination.
I'm guessing mine too.
Like by instinct because no one taught me. So who taught you to stand the fuck up?
I'm gonna ask. I'll ask my parents
because that's as far as you remember. You've been doing this since a kid, right?
I don't know. I never knew there was another way to.
But yeah, we were all taught. You don't think about it.
I would call and ask my dad, but he'd be like, "Bob, I'm not having." You're a fucking idiot.
But it's true though. At some point.
So his next question is actually for Joe.
I'm fucked up, man.
He said, "This is for Joe."
I'm really fucked up about standing up thing, and just to realize now, there's a whole. I never thought about this in 40 years of my life, and there's a bunch of you out there. There's a bunch of you fucking maniacs out there.
Like Billing said, I'm sure there's a handful of other techniques. What about the guy who stands or sits, puts his feet on the toilet seat? How does he wipe his ass?
That's a normal Asian thing.
I know.
What about the guy that puts his feet on the wall across the?
What about the guy who AC Slater sits on the toilet backwards and hugs the tank light?
And that real weirdo who does a headstand. And then,
oh wow, pushes it out.
This is for Joe, but anyone please chime in. I doubt you all remember me mentioning this a while back, but between August 2020 and July 2021, I dropped 120 pounds doing DDP yoga. I actually do remember that.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm now running and lifting 4 to 5 times a week.
Hell yeah!
I've put on about 10 pounds of muscle. Oh, this guy's ready to be cable, and regularly hovering around 195
15,
pounds.
5 more.
That's true. I want to get your thoughts on something. I have this fear of gaining the weight back. I'm almost obsessed with not going over 200 pounds and feel like I constantly need to be doing some form of exercise to maintain. I track my food and calories on my Fitbit, and I almost never go over my calorie, maybe about once a month. And always do what I can to maintain below my calorie allotment. I should probably be eating more calories to stay in the zone of my allotment, but I'm scared of gaining the weight back. I know I need to eat more calories to gain muscle, but it is almost like a fear of getting fat again. Thoughts or tips?
I'm with you because I was a fat kid. I have a big mental hang-up about it. But since you have had your transformation, you know what works, you know the lifting works, you know the tracking the calorie works. So I rationalize my way out of it. So like there are times when I gain weight, quote unquote bulk. I don't really go on heavy bulks anymore, where like I know I'm gaining weight, but it's purposeful, like you're trying to gain muscle. Just keep that in mind, is that like you're supposed to, it's normal, you're not getting fat, and that when it's time to cut again, you can, because you've done it. It's no big deal.
You could also measure, like I would think, like you could take like a tape measure, like a for fabric, like one of those like bendy ones.
Yes.
You know,
the one they give you like here, the paper.
Yeah,
Like
and like
the ribbon, yeah.
Yeah, and like measure your waist, and then if you're putting on weight, but your waistline is staying the same, then
That's a good idea.
And yeah, or get a body fat monitor. Omron makes a decent one. They might not be true accurate, but they're consistent to yourself. So like it'll always measure your own personal progress up or down.
So he says, anyway, thanks for doing what you do and keep up the good work. I look forward to NR every week when I'm working out. P.S. Bobby had me bust up with the flame on comment during sex. I was doing my leg presses and
that's dangerous.
And dropped 350 pounds because I started laughing hysterically. I got some looks. Thanks for the laughs. I needed it. Paul C. Do you know what I love? A freshly warmed car in the midst of a salty and grimy winter. That's why I have an unlimited car wash pass. Flex. What gives you the same kind of vibes? So like I do like sometimes
Here we go. And here we go.
This is a little strange. Sometimes in the winter, I'll get up to go to the bathroom out of bed. And I will, so I either sleep naked or in my underwear pretty much to go to bed. And I will go to the bathroom, but then I'll stay out of bed a little bit longer so that I get cold, so that I can get back in the nice warm bed and like snuggle in.
So mine's a car related. And when it's been cold as fuck for a long time, and you get in your car and it's been in the sun.
Ooh,
and just that
good.
warmth that you
get.
That
is good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I mean, it depends on how cold it is in the wintertime. Like first thing when I get up in the morning, I put my robe on and I go turn my car on, and then I go get ready. That blast of cold helped me wake up, and then by the time I'm ready to go to work, like car is fucking toasty.
Yeah,
my wife also like if I got to go to work. And it's a super cold day, like one of those, like, button down the hatches for today. Like, fucking schools are closing in the city because they can't get fucking warm enough.
Single temperature, single
that
digits.
Shit,
yeah.
My wife will put my sweatpants in the dryer for me for like a minute while I'm in the shower and bring them up to bitch. I do.
I still like cat stuff. Like if they've been laying in one spot, like we'll just fucking shove them off and take that pillow and take it with me and use their fucking cat heat.
You know that's why pets became popular
to keep warm,
to keep people warm. Yeah, like kings and
sometimes it's too hot though, man.
Esteban writes in and says, good morning, NRR. Hello, everyone. First off, I wanted to say I was really glad I could get such a big laugh out of everyone a few weeks ago with my sound clip about Maryland Phil. Making you guys laugh was quite the highlight for me, and I got a gunshot sound effect. For my question, I wanted to ask about Secrecy in movies. This past week, Morbius came out in theaters, and I think everyone knew everything about the film before even seeing it. The director even gave away all the spoilers 2 weeks before the release date in an interview with Cinema Blend. I remember when Revenge of the Sith was being made, George Lucas had a webcam on set so you could watch the film being made if you were a member of the Star Wars website. The footage was terrible, but you could still see what was going on.
I didn't remember that.
I guess I knew that either.
What do you think happened? I felt like before the internet or during its infancy, there were a lot of more details and productions pictured floating around to promote projects, and at some point that all stopped. The director of the new Indiana Jones film was posting behind-the-scenes pictures on his film on Twitter and was told to stop. Do you guys like the hype train approach tons? The hype train approach tons films release, or the full secrecy treatment? Thanks for the laughs. I'm somewhat in between. I think that all of that behind the scenes stuff it depends because like BVS was too much. You know, like giving away.
You're the kind of guy who goes and read the entire script before watching a movie.
I only do that with Star Wars, and I don't do that anymore because I don't give a shit. But like, I think that now the behind the scenes and all that, now it's not a lot of it is not so much leaks. It's part of the fucking rollout.
It is.
Yeah.
And
purposeful.
So there's that element, and then the other element is when people get a hold of shit, then that becomes their blog content, their fucking YouTube content, their everything else. So like, there's a business to it now. I think is what really the difference is.
Yeah.
And listen,
internet's not the same.
There's very few actual leaks of anything.
No.
Like it's
all purposefully leaked.
Yeah, let a little secret slip.
Like 40K had off leaks, but like. Squats are back, bro. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Squats are back.
That's funny.
So they're
like, for those listening, they're like space dwarves.
Yes. So like on April 1st, they released a trailer of like CG trailer, and at the end of reveal, you see a squat, And then everyone's just like, it's April Fool's. I'm like, no, man, that's too much money they spent to make a whole ass 3-minute CGI just as a joke. But I guess they have the money. But the next day, it's like, no, it's not a joke. They're back. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
they've been gone for 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the box set of them when I got in.
Yep. You know, Space Dwarves.
Yep. So this is from Kevin S. He says, on Batman. Greetings, Power Rangers. So I'm struggling to muster any enthusiasm for the Batman, and I think I figured out why. I'm sure it's a fine film, but I just don't really have a desire to watch another dark, gritty, realistic, and most importantly, solo Batman film. I've come to realize that my favorite part of Batman is the Bat family, and it frustrates me that Hollywood is so scared to try to feature any of them, so many great characters and relationships are lost as a result. I want to see Grayson grow up to be Robin and strike out on his own as Nightwing. I want to see Jason Todd die and come back to life with nothing but contempt for Batman. I want to see Tim Drake become Robin and a little brother to Nightwing. I want to see Damian get dropped in Bruce's lap and see him have to deal with the son he didn't know he had. I want to see any version of this other than Batman and Catwoman teaming up again.
It takes so much commitment that Warner Brothers, for whatever reason, is not willing to like take the time to build a cohesive universe. Right? That's the problem with Justice League.
I agree. DC, but they had it. They couldn't see it. That's the other problem. They fucking had it. And like,
I mean, they should have taken longer before Justice League came out in the first place.
Well, obviously the whole thing was just fucked. From, that tragedy that happened. And
I thought it was moving too fast until I saw it, and then I was like, oh, it all works. If they would have just trusted the fucking process.
Yeah.
DC has a gold mine in these characters, but they keep picking at the same goddamn rock.
It's the same reason why we have those action figure numbers earlier.
If any of these characters were included, would that make Joe any more interested in a new Batman film?
No, I don't care about Batman.
So I would say that like that is something that we haven't seen yet, right? Like we've seen the solo gritty Batman time and time again. We've seen Batman in the Justice League now.
Yeah.
We've seen Batman and Superman now. But what we haven't really seen is the Bat family. You know, like
I think that is a mix for very different Batman.
2 words for you: Joel Schumacher. Hello.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why we don't get Bat Family anymore.
Well, I think you could say the same thing as why we don't get Batman anymore. I think that the world is past that enough.
I know,
but like to get back to clutching the pearls. I think that is something that could be a new approach that could make me latch on to a character is like Batman's relationship with some of these other characters and being really to sink your teeth into that from like an emotional standpoint. I would love to see, like, you know how we got this Batman kind of dropped off in the midst of his career?
Yeah.
I would love to see a Batman dropped off in the midst of the Bat family at the height of their, like where the stakes are higher, the fucking threats are bigger because they have a team that can take it on. Like I would love that. Love to see it.
Yeah, I would too. But at the same time, I'm okay with it. And you were talking about like the expense and keeping people invested and keeping like, there's 7 people in this fucking cast we have to keep happy over the next 7 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to keep an actor and, a supporting cast
that you can swap out if you needed to.
Yeah.
So we got another write-in from Dave. I'm not sure if it's the same Dave or a different Dave, to be fair.
All right.
But he says, hit them hard in the neck. So I was listening to your conversation about racist team names on the Slap Happy episode. You guys talked about teams having racist names for some groups and other groups that were horrible in the past, but over time they are embraced by society in the future after everyone forgets the horrible past or the racist nature. Example, the Minnesota Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs. So what would things look like 200 to 250 years from now if the NFL was still a thing? Here's some ideas. Here's some ideas I had. The Carolina Panthers changed to the Carolina Black Panthers. The Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowpersons. The Kentucky Ku Klux Klan, their uniforms are all white, and then they really pop when you see it, but they go and change their name to 4K. The San Francisco Proud Boys, the 49ers rebranded, thinking Proud Boys was for the LGBTQA plus community. The Topeka Westboro Baptists, no longer spreading hate. They love the spread offense.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Napa Valley Nazis. Long ago, they invaded France. Now they invade Napa Valley for some good wine. Boise Al-Qaeda. These guys are just the bombs. On the uniform, it has an explosion.
Wow. Wow.
On the uniform, it has an exploding potato.
Oh, God.
Las Vegas, nation of Islam. Nothing like the Sin City of Vegas to really bring out the best of Islam.
Bro, okay, quick pause. Just watching the Scientology thing. Apparently, Scientology has infiltrated the Nation of Islam.
Really?
That's a good episode
What?
to watch.
That's
Like, they're converting Nation of Islam people covertly into Scientology.
That's amazing.
That was interesting.
Milwaukee ISIS. The team is a terror on the field and takes no prisoners. Sacramento Joe Connies. The team relies heavily on recruiting young talent. That might be a sports reference that I don't get. Cincinnati Harambes.
Harambe!
Our sweet Prince Harambe will always be remembered. Montana. I'm not saying that one. But quick question before I go. If you guys are fighting coyotes...
Hold on, we got to give us a minute to process all this.
I love it.
Quick question before I go. If you guys are fighting coyotes and are fisting coyotes to protect yourself...
protect your neck and fist them.
While protecting your neck, could you fist one end while another guy is fisting the other end to make a sick finger trap? I don't know, but I know you and Joe need to do your own pod together.
We could touch hands inside the coyote.
We try.
I wanted to hit you guys with a quick story. Back when the Iraq war was kicking off, I was in the Army. Myself and some other guys were sitting in our barracks room drinking and had the TV playing in the background. Whatever was playing stopped and cut to a news briefing with Saddam Hussein addressing the world about the upcoming U.S. invasion into Iraq. He was pretty much shit-talking like he was known to do. The funny thing was the person interpreting everything into English was doing a bad job, and they were saying the word-by-word translation and not changing things to match the context of everything he was saying. So at one point, Saddam says, Iraq will hit the U.S. invaders hard, and we will hit them hard in the neck. It makes a downward chopping motion. As a bunch of drunk dudes, we thought this was the most hilarious part of his speech, and hit him hard in the neck and protect your neck, son, were our go-to phrases for a long time, even after our unit went into Iraq. Even funnier was Saddam ended up being hung by his neck. So, I mean, that may not be funny, but I'm sick in the head.
I think it's funny.
So when Joe said, protect your neck, I lost my shit. I laughed so fucking hard, I was coughing up the oatmeal I was eating onto my work desk and papers, ruined my paperwork. The guy in my office who already doesn't like me because I joked about stealing his baby just shook his head in disgust.
I got a baby for sale.
It's Adonis. The dude is so old, he probably hasn't had a baby in his life for like 20 years because of his old balls. My whole office hates me. I'm the youngest person in the office at 38, the next person being around 53.
Jesus.
I'll wait till Mondays to listen to your pod so I can kill time at work and not listen to their boring conversations. Have you ever worked in the setting with people who were the most boring ass people who talked about the most boring topics ever? I overheard 4 people talking about scrapbooking for 2 hours yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
Yesterday, a lady from the office came over to mine and started talking about different places she buys groceries and how she literally saves 60 cents here or 90 cents there by shopping at certain places. For 45 minutes, she talked. I said 2 words, good morning. That's where I fucked up. I work Monday through Wednesday at the office with Thursday and Friday from home. Those 3 days are the hardest because it's how can I navigate my day without getting fired and not blow my brains out. The pay is decent for the work, so that's the only reason I'm still there.
Yeah, I mean,
my final question, what's the difference between scared, frightened, spooked, and startled? Love the pod. Thanks for the therapy.
Wow. That was a lot to unpack. I love it.
So first of all,
you're living office space life.
If you're ever in the DMV, hit us up for a seat.
Yeah.
Secondly, I worked at the Department of Social Services for a year. It's the only time I ever put my college education to work. It was the lowest paying job I've ever had in my adult life, and it was the most miserable fucking work experience ever. The fucking people there were... I'll tell you a couple things about this. So one, I think I told this story before. There was an old white lady there that worked there. She loved Harry Potter, one of them, and she like came up to... Every time there was a birthday of someone in the office, she would bring like a little cupcake or a little something that she had put together, and she would sing, you remember that? So you had a bad day.
Yes.
So she was saying, so you had a birthday, came into work, get yourself a piece of birthday cake, and put the cake on your... It was awful. It was awful. The only saving grace to me there was my direct supervisor. He had a earring, so I knew he was the wacky one, right? And I used to jokingly, his name was Ben, and he was very normal, but I used to jokingly call him at home Wacky Wild Ben because he was the only one with a bit of an edge to him at this place. He's actually a pretty cool guy. My boss was this African lady, right? She fucking loved me. Now, she may have been the only one that loved me in this whole office. Everybody
That's all
else
that matters, though.
fucking hated my guts, especially the upper management, right? So there's these reports that you have to do when you take. I was an income maintenance specialist. And there was I basically saw if people qualified for food stamps, medical assistance, or TCA, which if you're from Maryland, we don't have welfare in the typical sense. We have temporary cash assistance, which is a different beast. So I would take these applications, process them, and then see if they qualified or didn't qualify. At the end, you have to type a narrative. This narrative is in like a state thing. Once it's locked in, it's locked forever. There's no fixing it. Like
How many rap lyrics did you
It's
put
a
in?
big fucking deal, right? Like it's like they act like you're going in and you're fucking with the Torah. You're fucking with the Dead Sea Scrolls. You're over there with the fucking Shroud of Turin having a go. Is how they act that you're dealing with this thing, right? So I'm sitting there and I type it in, but I'm an idiot, right? So I'm just trying to make my way through it. And I'm kind of like, I'm
Monkey slapping the keyboard.
and I'm more about the vibe than I am about the details.
Right.
More about a story.
So this lady says, my boss, who I love, she was awesome. She was like, Bobby, can you come into my office for a minute? And I was like, uh-oh. So I go in and she says, have a seat. So I have a seat. She said, you processed a application for Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? And it wasn't Johnson, but I was like, yeah. Bobby, can you tell me the name of the restaurant where they serve the pizza and the mascot is a little mouse who like to eat the pizza with the kids? And I was like, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. He said, Bobby, is Chuck E. Cheese? You wrote in your paper, Chunky Cheese.
Did somebody work at Chuck E. Cheese or something?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Chunky cheese. Oh man, that's.
So I start laughing, right? But she loves me, so she starts laughing, and she's like, "Bobby, try to do better." And I'm like, "I will." I get up, and she's like, and as I'm walking out, she just goes, "Chunky cheese."
That's great.
There's just the fact that somebody had to read every fucking word you wrote the whole time you worked there,
And
Bro.
that was worth calling you in over, or maybe she
Because nobody made those. They drill it in your head of how important the details are.
Because it's official core documents,
so
right?
people look over this shit 100 times. I kind of just go with the flow. You know what I mean? I'm about the vibe. I'm painting a picture here. Let me work.
So I've. Similar to what you did, I worked in the mortgage business, and I had all their documents that showed how much money they made in their home, and then I'd have to do research. Nope, this is actually a trailer. We can't refinance it. Kind of heartbreaking stuff. And we had some people we had some real characters that worked at this place. We had a holistic doctor who had a child had died under his care in South Carolina.
I remember you telling me about that.
And he was there was a lady her name was Jonna. It's like John with an name, and she talked like this. Ugh. Well, her and this guy Lawrence, the holistic doctor, who was always sweaty. They had become intimate, and Kelly worked there too at the time. And Jonna said to Kelly, "Lawrence is the best lover I've ever had." We're like, this sweaty, stinky and we're like, I was like, can you imagine him on top of you, just drenched in sweat? And it's 60 degrees in the room, but he's just drenched in sweat. Oh, and his job. This whole place was a fucking racket. We found out after we started working. His job was anything we denied, he went back through with a fine-tooth comb and see if there was any way they could get the people, some 3-year adjustable rate mortgage that. Sorry about the bubble bursting. I'm not saying it was my fault, but I sure shit didn't help make it not happen. Yeah.
Anything from you, Jim?
It's never boring where I work because either there's no talking, like if I tune everybody out, or I make sure people know the vibe.
Okay.
I talk about whatever the fucking wild fuck I talk about, and in general, people loosen the fuck up, or they learn to deal with my antics.
There you go.
Like I just don't. I guess I've never been fired, so I don't know what that feels like. I guess I should be more fearful of getting fired because that's a big deal, but I haven't yet.
I mean, I can't imagine in your line of work today that you would have to probably physically harm someone to.
The Harnesses, bro.
Harnesses?
Yes, that's my wrestling name. It is my wrestling name. That's
the
my
Harnesses.
And I'll give him a prescription to get good.
There you go.
I dumped some pills on him.
That's what it is.
Our last question.
Here's some pain pills, bitch.
We had 10 questions today.
Yo,
And hey, if you want to send in a question,
do you even need to keep advertising?
I don't know. I just want to make sure new listeners know to send it to
nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. It should also be in the description.
You should get like Laura or someone to say Nerd Rage, and then just have a button.
Oh yeah,
just a button.
And a super. She'll feel weird about. I got to find somebody that can slut it up. If you know what I mean.
Any of our listeners that want to slut it up for Bobby.
Yes, dude. If your wife loves to slut it up,
it has to be a lady.
You ever DM me?
or you just send an audio clip saying,
nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. Like something like that. Blaster, don't take that.
Gmail.com.
Don't take that.
You gotta put some sauce on that gmail.com.
All right, last one. Stevie Danger. Danger must be his buddy. Middle name.
No.
Am I right? What's shaking Power Ragers? Long time listen, first time rager. A few years ago, I sold my entire collection to buy my girl a diamond to get married. My question to you guys is this: what would it take for you to sell your collection? No questions asked. Later, nerds.
somebody come to my house and get it all. If somebody came to my house and I'm out. I just don't want to have to fucking deal with getting rid of it all.
I would need to be in some sort of financial.
Yeah.
Two things: some sort of financial strain where the family needed to survive and it has to go, or two, I lost passion for it.
Yeah.
If I lost passion for it and it didn't bring me the same joy, like
Does it bring you joy?
Yeah, her.
I used that the other day.
Then I would get rid of it.
Yeah, it has to be emergency. The losing passion wouldn't work for me. I'm like that lady from Bad Vegan. I'm in too deep. I'm just gonna lie to myself and say I still care because I've spent
I've been doing it for
5
years.
digits.
Dang it, Bobby.
I've spent 5 digits of money into my collection. I'm gonna pretend I like it. Okay.
Yeah. There was a guy.
You have more. You have 5 digits in here for sure.
Oh, it might be 6.
Yeah. I'm trying to be conservative here. I'm not flex on
and I'm
people.
saying for both of us.
Yeah.
All three of
For
us.
sure.
Yeah.
If you include like the display cases and all that shit.
It's disgusting.
Bro, you want to flex? You and I have gotten rid of more shit than some people have ever had.
I mean, that's definitely true.
For him.
It's true this year. There was a guy in a Facebook group, believe it or not. I believe it was a Mezco group. He said, I started collecting last year and spent $15,000 on collectibles. And he had Mezco's Hot Toys. He had some high-end, like, quarter-scale statues. And there people are like, and he was asking, is this out of line? And the comments are all over the place. And my simple question was, does it bring you joy?
Yeah.
Do you like looking at this shit?
Yep.
Well, I mean, unless you just found $15,000, I would imagine that money was just your disposable income,
Or maybe you're irresponsible,
or maybe you're horribly irresponsible and you're up to your eyeballs in credit card debt. I don't know.
Also, a side question for Joe.
Yo.
With the rumors of a live action Gundam movie happening,
Yes, please.
are you hoping it's more Pacific Rim or Robo Jocks from the 80s? That movie was my
Good
jam
reference.
as the kid.
That's the only mech movies and was really well done for its time.
They said it looks beyond awful now.
It does, but like that's only thing live action remotely close we have to giant robots, and it was good for its time.
What's your take?
Story wise or action wise, right? Because like I love Pac Rim. It's great.
Oh, don't call it Pac Rim, man.
You never shot the You never shot the Pac Sun and got those beaded necklaces with the hemp ropes? I had those. I had a beaded hemp
I had a friendship bracelet.
Choker.
I had a friendship
But
bracelet.
you had to make it yourself, right?
Somebody made it for me.
Nah, they didn't. You just told people that. You got a loom. Bobby got a loom for Christmas and was out there making him bracelets everywhere. Yeah, my friend gave me this one.
So I got so many. Look, I got so
look at all
many.
my friends.
You never had those flat plastic twines in summer camp where you
What was it, Gimp? Was
Yeah.
it called? Was it,
Oh, well, you did the four-way
What did
thing?
they call it?
the four, there's different. I don't remember, but there were different ways.
I remember
but the
those.
4 ways
Yeah.
the easiest.
yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Remember those?
I still see them on people's keychains and shit from time to time. Yeah. I'll say this: if somebody else wrote in, don't ask me.
Bobby bought half one of those heart necklaces. Actually, he bought both halves. He just kept them
I
both.
got the other one in my pocket.
Yeah.
I want
Looking for
my
a friend.
live action Gundam like The Expanse with robots.
Okay.
Dude, I'd be on board for that for sure.
Because the world
you
is
said
that.
the magic word,
The
yeah.
world is that. The world is like the UC timeline. Gundam is serious. It's good. It's got drama. It's got philosophy. It's got a lot of things. And like the closest thing I can think of to it is The Expanse.
Yeah.
Just more robots.
I will say that I don't ask me where. I can't tell you. but I did come across it last week. I want to say Patreon, but I could be wrong. Somebody wrote in and said when the show cast changed, that they were not happy with how you would be held responsible for picking up the weight, and you have become the shit, is what they said in there.
Wait, one more time?
I guess basically that like when Adam left,
yes,
they were like, Joe ain't gonna be able to carry all this fucking weight. Joe,
that's how I felt.
And he felt that way.
Yeah.
And he says, from that point to now, you have become the shit.
Oh,
on the podcast.
Whoever that is,
Look
thank
out.
you. Appreciate it, because
They did-
I was really worried about that. Oh, I mean, this is a side note, but like from the get-go, when I came on as a regular member, I've not like a third wheel, but I've always been to myself like a backup person. Like, it's you guys' show,
right?
And I'm just kind of here to help or chime in.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'd be like when like Adam couldn't make it and you're like, you want to do a show, and in my head I'm like, I can't fucking do a show with just me and you, bro. I can't. And I still kind of feel that way. I don't think I can fill that role, but nice to hear that somebody thought I was able to.
Yeah, I wish I could give you the name, but I know it crossed my desk.
Yeah,
I just I should have screenshot it or something. With that being said, I think that's it, boys.
Yeah.
Shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. If you listen to this podcast and have a podcast or don't, you're part of the Cool Table too, as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. We have Phil on our notes,
yeah, hootie patootie,
and our Twitter, and out there being a little. We got a name for you, Phil.
The perfection one was
Phil. We have a name for you now. You are the Velocithirster.
Wow.
It's like the Velocipaster.
Wow.
Someone draw that.
The Velocithirster out there commenting on all these little cosplay girls' photos. We see you. We see you. And then Raul on Instagram, and Dante on Facebook, and Ricky Ticky Timber out there making the videos for us. He made 2 for us this week.
Bro, I need your address so I can send you something.
And I think that's it. And anybody working behind the scenes or helping behind the scenes, it is appreciated.
And with that, Flappy Labius.
Tasty taint.
Tight dick player.